Very, very good evening to everybody who's watching this at Sentinel. And it's time we get back to our Fridays with you all, chasing different stories. মোৰ সদায় এটা সপোন আছিলে that someday what to do with the music. The music should help us find stories. And they are essentially the same stories. Probably some people haven't walked onto them. And Sentinel is definitely given a few people like us the opportunity to go chasing where the stories are. And Amar Adi, on the discussion that we have today, we have the writers, most eminent. And this is the thinking lot of the society. These are the think tanks. These are the people who tell you what it is. And from the people who we wish to learn. And this was one of my, as a musician also, this was one of my things to get writers into the concert and have them discussing what things are. Our senior mano, I always wish that our seniors passed on their wisdom to generation next and to our audience. And we are having this perfect platform and opportunity in these times of lockdown. And today it's the power of ink, the power of writing. And I know you're all waiting to see. And the man I really respect, Mr. Minal Talukdar. Good evening, Minalda.
Good evening, Joy.
Good to see you here.
What a gift for us to join you in this particular conversation. And thank you very much. Somehow, I'm just into it.
Thank you, Minalda. And when I started the first talk here on Sentinel with you, when we had called you on to discuss music in the times of crisis, and today we bring you on as an author. It just shows you.
You all and all the panelists which will be joining, except Songita, all are you can think and nicely you can reply. I think me and Songita has got now neither we are journalists nor we are writer. Somewhere in between. Especially
I know.
Time anchor is something very dangerous situation for me at this moment because city has been declared lockdown and another about 45 minutes we are going to have curfew. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, but nevertheless, you are a shining light in these times, and your conversations bring us much the needed energy and the sunshine. So, the first question to you is, and to let the watching public know, Minalda, the 4 books that I know of, probably they are more in waiting and writing, are about the 1962 aggression, our Alpha Secret Killings, the rhino poaching, which is called Mandalay. It's kind of centered around Burma and Kaziranga, that's the root. And post-colonial Assam. My 1962 aggression report based on documentary and it takes away a lot of the myths that were. Anyway, we'll get there. Secret Killings is another one, which is like recent contemporary history, rhino poaching. So definitely the top 3 books that we discuss here are of the investigative journalist. Post-colonial Assam also sheds light on few things which were either brushed out over time or forgotten. Now my question is, Minalda, does the journalist in you drive the writer of non-fiction that you are? Is it uncovering layers that earlier journalism was not up to unraveling? Apni 1962 aggression apni bahut kotha you have brought it out. Secret Killings, rhino poaching. Agote journalism ekhini kotha uliabo para nasile karone you turned writer, and was it that sense of the investigative journalist?
Thank you very much, Joy. Once again, you brought me to this forum, and I really appreciating that nowadays people are looking forward to this Friday evening with Chad and the Sentinel to speak. And now I'm actually a little embarrassed to tell or try to tell myself or project myself as a writer. I am not. I am a journalist, and most of the time I think that this subject is not there, so I have to write. That's why I'm writing. I'm basically a chronicler. So what basically
Yes.
I'm trying to not investigative. I don't think something great investigation I have done in this. These are somehow known, but things are that we are not doing I have always realized that in Assam, especially with great canvas Assam and the North here, the writers are, especially in the fiction and non-fiction world, are not taking up the main event that are happening there in their own courtyard or backyard. Let's assume, first thing, truth incident. 1950s earthquake and 1962's Indo-China aggression are the two biggest events of the past century in Assam. None of them hint documented by anything. Anything. Then come the great insurgency from 50s to even now. That's my book is called Motom is on that. So what I realized that all the great events are not chronicled or not written down or not in any format. Neither films,
Exactly.
nor documentaries, nor the books, nor even fiction, nor even thing. So I wanted to go into a genre. It's a non-fiction written in a fictional way, so that I can catch those readers, and those are not the general readers' things. So that's why one after another, all the books which you are seeing is basically on the contemporary social politics of things. I have not touched much about 50s earthquake, but about 62, or about the entire spectrum of the insurgency called Motom, then the Mandalay, the Rhino things, and then secret killing. And I'm a little bit, including my father is a quite known literature. I always try to say why they did not touch all these subjects. So I personally always try to think, or many people will be offended by my view, but I try to say that the writers of Assam, my past and seniors, everything, always play safe. Play safe and then do not touch the subject which is happening in your backyard. They will touch all the beautiful things. One genre will be on the mostly on the socio-cultural thing, one about, but they will not touch the insurgency. They will not touch the 1962 war. They will not do the entire Alpha's entire spectrum. Luckily, Alpha's some books were there. But that's why I will not call myself a writer or investigative journalist. I'm just a chronicler. So for posterity, I am doing all these things. Similarly, like post-colonial Assam, which has been widely talked about, I found that there is no book to know about Assam beyond post-independence. We have the Gates.
Exactly.
We have
Exactly.
Cantos Rastu Saras of Amalandu Guha. After that, from 50s, hardly there are any state in India which has got such a wide spectrum of events happening.
Exactly.
Nothing.
Both can you Both can you
So that's why the books have come out. So most of the books actually I wrote for myself, eventually came into a book form, and people are appreciating it, and I am happy. That's all.
So, Mrinal, that Amar as a contemporary artist, and in terms of major other discussions that I'm privy to and part of, এইটো কথা খুব বেয়া লাগে যে আমাৰ actually last 50 বছৰ ঘূৰি চাবলৈ the sort of literature we need in terms of non-fiction, there has been a huge lacune. And I think you have got a couple of books in that space. আৰু আমাৰ এটা spectrumটোত lately সংগীতা বৰুৱা পিছৰটি সোমাইছে.
Yeah, that's
মই মানে আজিকালি সকলোকে কওঁ যে between these two people আৰু আছে অলপ, কিন্তু মই যোনখিনি পঢ়িছো, I tell a lot of people that between these two people they have covered the last Assam since independence. It has been a big gift that you guys have undertaken to give us, and that makes it even more meaningful. And you know, I think you've answered it. I think the sense of uncovering the layers that earlier journalism was not up to. These are journalistic books also, and I think you have said it pretty loud and clear. So I think that point is done and taken. So coming to the next question on post-colonial Assam, আপনি যেটো লিখিছে বস্তুটো আপোনাৰ প্ৰত্যেকটো issue from migration, হেখন কিতাপৰ মোৰ আছে, আপোনাৰ হেখন কিতাপৰ লঞ্চত মই গৈছিলো মিনাদা দিল্লী. We were at the India International Center একেলগে we had launched the book. So তাত আপনি প্ৰত্যেকটো issue from migration to students education to the NRC সকলোখিনি cover কৰিছে, various groundbreaking moments. আমি যোনখিনি কথা পাতিছে ইমানখিনি কথা হৈ গৈছে অসমত, you know. And it is every time, I mean, protective incident, it is the identity of who is an Assamese that has been challenged. A protected incident, apni migration law, but after students' education law, NRC, every time is the Assamese identity that is under threat. Why is it that in like 70 plus years of post-independence in Assam, it is still presenting a challenge and a problem? What has come between us and the answer? Is there a habit that has stopped us, or is there something, a trait Is there a trait that has stopped us from finding the answer?
This is a very, very sensitive subject. মই সেই কথাটো এনেকৈ বুজাব বিচাৰো যে গোটেই definition of Assamese, অসমীয়াৰ যিটো সংজ্ঞা, this is still taking a shape. অসম মানেই হ'ল uneven. So এতিয়া আমাৰ এটা definite answer, definite solution, definite এটা description, এটা definition আমি পাব এতিয়াও হোৱা নাই। কিন্তু আমি বাৰে বাৰে বিচাৰি আছো আৰু বিচাৰি গৈ 70 years গৈছো। Yes, মই এজন proud অসমীয়া, কিন্তু সেই বুলি মই নিবিচাৰো যে এই ডেফিনেশনটো বিচাৰি পেলে মানুহে আৰু 40টা বছৰ যাওকে। We have already missed the bus in every, আৰু এই যেটো আমি পোষ্ট কলোনিয়েল আসাম লিখাৰ এটা কাৰণ আছিল যে আমি 10 বছৰ আগত 20 বছৰ আগত একেখিনি কাম কৰি আছো নেজানা ফলতে আকৌ নতুন আৰম্ভ কৰিছো। সেইকাৰণে বাৰে আমাক আসাম নেতাই এই অসমীয়াৰ সংজ্ঞাটোক লৈ পেলে নতুন কাহিনী সৃষ্টি কৰি see basically everything is a story. You are telling a story. So you tell a story, you allow them to consume, some consumption at a generation কৰে তেওঁলোকে সেইখিনি next আৰু এটা story বনোৱা হয় based on the same thing, and then এই বস্তুটোকে লৈ পেলে এই কোম্পানীকে আগুৱাই গৈ আজি এইখিনি গৈছে। মই ভাবো যে it's now time that we should move. Definition of অসমীয়া সংজ্ঞা এই বস্তুটো হৈ থাকিব। You cannot have a defining line. I don't think any have a defining line যে এইখিনি লেকে অসমীয়া এইখিনি পে এইখিনি অসমীয়া নহয়। Well and good. কিন্তু আমি
actually লাহে পৃথিৱীখনত সেই সীমাবোৰ আৰু কমটি হৈ আহিব তাৰমানে কোন অসমীয়া হয় কোন অসমীয়া নহয়। Those lines will get blurred.
বাৰে কৈছো অসম সাহিত্য সভাই 1966 যদি অসমীয়া ভাষাটো মাতৃভাষা বুলি অফিচিয়েল ভাষা বুলি ইনসিষ্ট নকৰিলে হয় আজি এইটো দখা হলতেন। আমি যিমানে অসমীয়া কৰিব কৈছো কিমান যদি এৰিবলৈ কৈছো আমি এই বস্তুটো নিজক এটা বহুত সময়ত ৰেচিষ্ট কৰিবলৈ বিচাৰো। As if we are really kind of some kind of racism our ভিতৰত আছে সবতে আমাক অসমীয়া এই ডেফিনেশনটো কৰিবলৈ যোৱাৰ ফলত আমি পিছুৱাই গৈছো। I know people will be not very happy with my definition. মই এজন proud অসমীয়া, এই বিষয়ে কোনো ডেফিনেশন মই পাৰো সাৰ্টিফিকেট ল'ব নালাগে, কিন্তু মই এইটো বিচাৰো যে আমি বাকি পৃথিৱীখন যে আগুৱাই গুচি গ'ল সেইটো আমি পিছুৱাই গ'লে আমি অকল সংজ্ঞা বিচাৰিবলৈ গৈ সংজ্ঞাটো এটা কিয় প্যাৰামিটাৰ আমাক লাগে। আমি নোহোৱাকৈ আগুৱাই জয় বৰুৱাই গৈ পেলে লণ্ডনৰ ষ্টুডিঅ'ত গান গাই আছে, জয় বৰুৱা এজন আছামিজ, তাক আকৌ ডেফিনেশন বেলেগে নালাগে নহয়। সেই বস্তুটো বিচাৰিবলৈ গৈ আমি নিজকে নিজে এটা সেলফ গোল কৰি আছো বুলি মই এতিয়া বয়স হোৱাৰ লগে লগে ভাবিবলৈ বাধ্য হৈছো। জয়
Actually, যোনটো the question of nationalism আৰু মানে আমাৰ sub nationalism, these are very gray areas. লাহে এইবোৰ বস্তু অলপ নাইকিয়া হৈ গৈছে। People choose to live without borders. Or I think that is what we had envisioned long back, and that is what has taken you on this search. Coming to, but anyway, Minalda, what I really respect, at least you have an opinion on things. That is important. Apna fence sitting kori thakar bor, it's not the desired option. It's not the desired option. Yeah. And with your experience, at least you have an opinion. You place it. I think that demands and commands immediate respect. The context. Next question is the context of 1962, and unlike secret killings, 62 is about the 1962 aggression by the Chinese. And unlike secret killings, Ba Mandalay, rhino poaching, or the post-colonial Assam, এই কিতাপখনৰ যোনটো subject, Chinese aggression, সেইটোক লৈ আজিৰ দিনত কোনো মানুহে মই অসমত ব্যস্ত হোৱা নেদেখো। Nobody is talking about it. Chinese aggression whole আৰু we remember the China আহিলে অৰুণাচলৰ ওচৰ পালেহি নেহৰুৱে কিবা এটা কথা ক'লে আৰু নকলে সেইটো কথা আছে। So which you have kind of very beautifully taken out in that thing. এটা কথাটো হ'ল সেই কথাখিনি মানুহে নাপাতে, it has gone out of our narrative and our conversation. Why did you choose to write it? Was there some history in there that you wished for us to understand so that we can understand present day narratives? Was there a lesson we missed there?
Yes. See, কিছুমান কথা যদি আমি হিষ্ট্ৰীত মই first of all I'm not a historian, যদিও মই হিষ্ট্ৰী বেছিকৈ লিখিছো, I'm not a historian again. যদি আমি কথাটো নাজানো মই কোন, আমি কথাবিলাক উল্টা পুল্টা কৈ থাকিম। 1962 মই যেতিয়া ডাঙৰ হলো তেতিয়াৰ পৰা শুনিছো তিনটা কথা যিটো তুমিও জানা। এক, চীনা আহিছিলে তেজপুৰত পগলা পুতেক খুলি দিছিলে, 1 নম্বৰ জানো। 2 নম্বৰ মিঠা পুখুৰীত টকাখিনি পেলাই দিছিলে। 3 নম্বৰ জানো কি নেহৰুৱে অমুক কৈছিলে। Beyond that, a fourth sentence nobody knows. I have a strong grudge against my seniors. তেওঁলোকে 62 হোৱা ঘটনাৰ সময়ত ডেকা ল'ৰা আছিল, ইনক্লুডিং মাই ফাদাৰ। তেওঁলোকে এই কথাখিনি ভালকে লিপিবদ্ধ কিয় নকৰিলে? 62 পৰা মই 2012 চনত প্ৰায় 50 ইয়াৰ্ছৰ পিছত এইবিলাক কথা লিখিব লগা হৈছিলে why they did not write. I found it extremely amusing কাৰণ তেজপুৰত হৈছে নেফা বেছি দূৰ নহয় সেই বেকগ্ৰাউণ্ডটো ইমান ডাঙৰ মই আজিলৈকে কওঁ 2021 চনৰ আজি তাৰিখলৈকে ইমান ডাঙৰ মিডিয়া ইভেন্ট হোৱা নাই যিটো 1962 হৈছে যে দালাই লামা আহি পেলাই তেজপুৰ পাইছে এণ্টাৰ ৱৰ্ল্ড প্ৰেছ ৱাজ দেয়াৰ ইমান ঘটনা ডাঙৰ হোৱাই নাই আমি কিন্তু এইটো সিম্পলি আমি এইটো একো নকৰিলো এনিৱে নাও why did you write it? I wrote it because I wanted to tell the people of Assam that this has happened. Nehruwe কেতিয়াও my heart goes to যিটো সেই কথাটো কোৱা নাছিলে এইটো সম্পূৰ্ণ ভুল কথা এটা ফেক
মিনালদা নেহৰুৱে কি কৈছিলে
সো নেহৰুৱে কথাখিনি যিখিনি কৈছিলে যিখিনি লাইনছ প্ৰথম কথা মই ৰিচাৰ্চৰ সময়ত প্ৰথমবাৰ ময়ো ভুল কৰিছো because I was trying to get hold of the exact copy of the particular speech from the All India Radio Archive. Interestingly, All India Radio Archive ত প্ৰাইম মিনিষ্টাৰৰ সেই ভাষণটো নাপালো মই নাপালো তো গতিকে মই আৰ্কাইভেল ডকুমেণ্টছ হিচাপে ৱৰ্ড বাই ৱৰ্ড নাজানো ধীৰেন চক্ৰৱৰ্তী প্ৰভাকৰ এনেকুৱা যিবিলাক বয়সস্থ মানুহে যিয়ে নিজে শুনিছিলে গোটেইবিলাক এতিয়া 90 ওচৰৰ বয়স তেওঁলোকৰ পৰা মই লাইন বাই লাইন লিখি পেলাই যিখিনি পাইছিলো ইটো তেওঁলোকে এই কথাটো কোৱা নাছিলে ওভাৰঅল যে টেনৰ আছিলে টেনৰত কিন্তু তেওঁ এটা ৰেজিগনেশ্যন আছিলে আমি যে কৰিব নোৱাৰিলো এনেকুৱা আছিলে সেই টেনৰটো মানুহে ৰিফ্লেক্ট কৰোঁতে এনেকুৱা হৈ গৈছে কিন্তু মাই হাৰ্ট গোজ আউট ফৰ দ্য পিপল অফ আছাম এই পাৰ্টিকুলাৰ সেন্টেন্সটো হি নেভাৰ সেড ইট এই কথাটো মই যিমানবোৰ মানুহে শুনা পাইছো মাকো কৈছো আই ডিড নট গেট দ্য এক্সেছ টু দ্য অল ইণ্ডিয়া ৰেডিঅ' আৰ্কাইভ আদাৰৱাইজ মই লাইন বাই লাইন লিখিব পাৰিলো হয় কিন্তু মই এই ছজনমান মানুহৰ মই ইনক্লুডিং তেওঁলোকৰ মেমৰি ৰিকালেক্ট কৰি পৰা লেখা তাৰ এজনে কিন্তু ভুলো কৈছে গতিকে it was a tenor to into resignation type or surrender type or the dukh type ase but that particular line he did not say and I have now officially saying all this thing in the my kitab khonot কিন্তু এই যে এটাৰ কথাটো হল যে মই কিয় কনটেক্সট নাই বুলি ভাবা বা তোমালোকৰ সকলোৰে মনত বুলাই গৈছে very good but wait for another 2 months it will all come back to you very strongly because আজি ৰাতিয়ে মই প্ৰগ্ৰামটো কৰিবলৈ গৈছিলো but লকডাউনৰ কাৰণে নহলগে 50 to 60 kilometers China India khumai haise over a plus 7 to 8 years it is happening in the 100 hill buli koy kahor usorot then in Anini right side of Dibang Valley ase Androa Valley buli koy aru ifale ba phale jodi ja apuni titingor upor jailingot ekhini onsolot incursion hoise Tapir Gao the present MP has said that in the floor of the parliament nothing happened. Manish Tiwari day before yesterday addressed a press conference asking BJP তোমালোকে যে গালওয়ান কই আছা তোমাৰ এমপিএ পাৰ্লামেন্টত কৈছে ইমানখিনি কথা তোমালোকে কিয় মনে মনে আছা there is somebody is hiding as far as China's incursion in Arunachal Pradesh moment এই কথাটো তোমাৰ মুকলি হৈ যাব গালওয়ানৰ নিচিনাকে 1962 will be relevant remember এই বিখ্যাত যেখন I forgot the name of the particular I forgot an airstrip ki oldi boli asile tat jikhon land korisile bimankhon সেই বিমানখনৰ কথাটোৱে এতিয়াও কোনে কোৱা হয় কথাটো হল 1962 গোটেই যেটো কাহিনীটো আকৌ ৰেলেভেন্ট হৈ আহিব যেতিয়া 2021 আমি আকৌ ইণ্ডো চাইনাটো বেলেগকে চাম অৰুণাচল কনটেক্সট ইটস এন absolutely মাহাবু হয়কানে তোমাৰ খুব প্ৰিয় গ্ৰন্থ but I do not think that এটা কথা হৈছে অৱশ্যে হয় পঢ়াশুনা কৰা মানুহ আজিকালি কমিয়ে গৈছে সেইকাৰণে প্ৰত্যেকখন কিতাপে কিমানলৈ ৰিচ হয় বিশেষকৈ অসমীয়া ইংৰাজী মোৰ ভয় লগা হৈছে লাহে লাহে but I still think question বিলাক খুদিব লগা হৈছে আমি সবেই জানো গড়ৰ খৰ্গ গড়টো মাৰি কাজিৰঙাৰ পৰা জানো নগালেণ্ডলৈ যায় নগালেণ্ডৰ পৰা কলে যায় nobody was questioning my job is to ask question and ask question if I don't get answer I will try to find out a book is nothing but a long form of journalism মই যেনেকৈ আজিকালি টুইট কৰে WhatsAppত যায় ব্ৰেকিং নিউজ যায় Telecom kitabu hoise ekhon long form of journalism. When I ask question I don't get, I try to find it out. You may call it investigative journalism, and eventually it comes out with a book, which is nothing but a long form of journalism. And that's why I'm repeatedly saying I am not a writer. I'm just a journalist.
Yeah. No, I think Miralda, amar generation ami jotu bhabu etia aru moi okoman with our kind of reading jotu buji palu and ami jotu koiso ground breaking events hoise ohomor I think আমাৰ fiction আমাৰ খৰাই থাকিব কিন্তু এই ধৰণৰ নন ফিকশনৰে দৰকাৰ আছিল I think people will wake up to this in a while from now আমাৰ ইমান এটা অদ্ভুত বস্তু চলি থকা আমি ৰিয়েলাইজ নকৰবা
অবলে যেটো ট্ৰেন্ড দেখা গৈছে it is always a non fiction is going strong
and I think Ohomor to capture what has happened it is non fiction which will capture and I think you have fitted into that I think you have kindly, you have played into the future, without knowing. That is the book that is going to be read in 20, 30 years down the line. I think, and that will be your greatest gift to the future. You should watch my words on that,
In
and
fact,
I promise you that.
one of my lady friend had called me up. She was reading Sangpurba Brahmaputrale. I was amused.
Right.
2007 not likha kitab ekhon 2020 on kunubai dukane porhi ani pele koy you feel great 14 years after we actually wrote that book. I more kiba proshno kore I actually forgot.
Of course. No, that is beautiful. Aru, more with your last question coming to mind. I know you have a show after this. This is my last quick one. Yeah. So as a TV host, political commentator, author, personally, we love you for the man that you are. With all this learning and experience, how can we ensure that you stay relevant for generation next? Because they need to borrow that wisdom from time to time. I think
have to do much to stay truth and straight. If I work like an arrow, if I work or behave truthfully, my generation, whatever generation, my generation, new generation, or a future generation will remember me. I don't have to do any hera tera feri and be straight. And I have been trying to do that always, and you all know that. And I don't have much good friends. Because of my this straightforward bluntness. Even tonight also, I'm going to ask some hard questions to the government for the lockdown. So I'll bring in more enemies, but I will try to be focused, straight, and hopefully you will like it. But I'm not a popularity contest. How many people like it? That's not my botheration. As long as I remain straight and do my duties as a journalist.
I think you, as like people are known by the friends they keep, I think sometimes people are also known by the enemies they make. And I will be good if you make good ones on both sides of this.
Definitely, you are my friend. Good evenings sometimes.
We will, and I look forward, and always an honor to talk to you, Minalda. You keep good, keep enlightening us, keep enlightening Assam and Guwahati.
Thank you.
I will take your leave from here. Thank you.
Tonight I have a television show, and lockdown day, curfew is on, so I'm running out of time. Please don't mind.
Yeah. Thank you, Minalda. You take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that was the most amazing Minalda. And Minalda, I'm not used to talking to Minalda from this side of the table. It's usually the questions come from the other side. But here we are. Sometimes do change, and we have remained friends. We come to a legend, and I think this is the first time we are going to meet. And thanks to lockdowns and thanks to the internet. Hello, ma'am. Good evening to you.
Hi, good evening. How lovely to see each other face to face.
Yes.
So
Same.
yeah.
আমি কেতিয়াবা কথা পাতিছো, but I think finally we meet like this. I think phone about কথা পাতিছো, I think.
For this begins, may I say I'm a huge fan of yours.
Wow.
I listen.
Thank you.
So it's good.
Thank you. Coming from the musician that you are, it's more than a compliment. I will wear it with pride.
That I was, not anymore.
It's a badge of pride that I'll choose to wear. Okay. আজি মই সকলোৰে লগত অলপ কথা পাতিছো আমাৰ আগতে মিনালদা আছে and
amazing. And he's always so forthright and courageous.
Yeah. I know. We need more people like him in the arena. Aru moi take it has been one of my mutke junkhini amatke junkhini senior to bring them to our milieu, to our audiences. This has been like one of our dreams, to তেওঁলোকৰ যোনটো wisdom আছে last 40-50 years or যোনটো তেওঁলোকে দেখিছে লিখিছে অধ্যয়ন কৰিছে, to bring that down to our audience had actually been one of my biggest dreams. And I think thanks to lockdown, it has been a curse, but some curses release and other dreams and aspirations. It is like this sudden burst of things has happened,
Yes.
and a few.
So, yeah. And a lot of writing is also happening because writing is always online. So that is, my God, so much. So these things are happening. But yes, go ahead.
Okay. So, I think my first one is a more atata question as simple. But as a writer from Assam and the Northeast, and you have been there, you have been there for a
Oh,
while.
yeah.
You
For, yeah. For
Yeah.
ages.
For ages, I know. Like you have,
Yeah.
your career spans what are more than our lives. You know. And
Probably. Probably. Yes.
yeah. So coming to that, what are, like, as somebody who puts pen to paper or probably print to paper, what are the
Keys.
future keys? Yeah, keys is more like this as turned digital. So what are the challenges coming from Assam Northeast? You see in the age of Kindle and a very fast moving social media movement.
Right.
Mano attention spans are coming hoye goise, where attention spans have come down to Twitter. So
Yes.
coming from Assam, where we are the bottleneck, where we were, what do you see
Yeah.
here?
You mean in this new medium? The new medium of
New
social
medium, new age. New medium,
New
new
age.
age.
Yes, actually, I wouldn't say the heading of this, the power of stories on paper, right? For me,
Yeah.
it is the power of the printed word, of the word, okay? The power of the word, of the written word, actually, okay? And the paper is the medium. First, it was stone, then it was papyrus, then it was manuscripts and what we have in our hot drawers and all parchment. And now from paper, it has gone on to digital media and so on. And about, of course, the format has changed. It has changed. In my lifetime, it has changed. But I would like to say in a way that, it has been an arc kind of a thing, because I began with middles in Sentinel itself. So I'm actually very thrilled that I'm back in Sentinel, which are, as you know, about 500 words and so on. Then I moved gradually to novels and so on. And I'm still writing novels, but I still write very short pieces also, my column and so on. So I don't think that these are, at war with each other. These various forms, these genres, they are not at war with each other. They supplement each other. Just as what Mr. Talukdar was saying about, non-fiction. Non-fiction, I'm a fiction writer. Non-fiction and fiction, they supplement each other, they complement each other. Similarly, a very short Twitter piece, I have come across such beautiful short stories which are only, I think, 20 words,
Right.
but encompass such a huge span. And because of this new media, because of all this, attention span going less and all, I am also learning to be less prolix. I am learning to condense my thing. In fact, just the other day somebody was saying that your style has changed and you are writing in a much more condensed way, and that is my, actually I took it as something good, that at least, I'm still relevant. I am not writing those, because in school we were taught to describe, and now the
Yeah.
thing is that you describe, but in one word.
Condense, right?
Right. And also that one word must convey what a whole paragraph would otherwise convey. So the story is the same, but the way you are saying it has changed, definitely. Does this answer what the question?
No, it does, because the reason behind this was two things. Because in terms of novels and novellas, these
Yes.
are the game has changed in terms of what the public is reading and what the reader is reading. That is one.
Yes.
And
But,
especially, yeah,
if I interrupt, it is also
yeah,
not as the big books are not being read anymore. Some of the, on the one hand, we have Chetan Bhagat, and we have the mythologies that are being rewritten, and which
of
are
course,
huge books, and both are bestsellers. So we have
exactly.
on every spectrum, we are there at all ends of the spectrum. Yeah.
Yeah. No, mane take এতিয়া যদি মানে I get those books again. এতিয়া Neil Gaiman or Norse mythology আনি পেলাই এতিয়াও পঢ়ো. You know what I
Hoy,
mean?
hoy.
I order those books, I get them here, I read them, and because they're on Amazon, I think everything coexists. in a world. Everything
Yes.
coexists.
হয়, হয়।
I and
কথাখিনি এফালে যায় আকৌ ফিৰি আহে আকৌ it's an arc. So এইবোৰ it's
yeah,
very fascinating the way things are going.
it's a cycle of life and death for some things, and
For some,
but
but also
for some
life,
things.
death, it's life also. And we all
Yeah, of
have to
course.
evolve. We all have to,
Yeah,
stay relevant, as I said, and adapt because
right.
change is a constant. You have to.
Okay, it is. It is.
Yes.
My second part of this question was, as somebody coming from the northeast and Assam,
Right.
without getting into specifics of the kind of writing that you do in this age, have you faced challenges in the
Oh,
in the age of moving technologies?
of technology? Yeah.
Because technologies are shifting.
Yeah, technologies are shifting, but I find that luckily I have young people close to me, my children, and young people of course take to it as to ducks to water. So
Right.
when something happens, and the first time I was on a webinar right at the beginning of this lockdown, I was kind of, oh god, now what. But now, since they showed me, and I realized it's actually nothing to be afraid of. So
Yeah.
the other thing that I have found, that when I began as writing by hand, but I could always type. I had learned typing in school, and I learned it in the proper way, Pitman's. So I would write by hand, and I could not, and then I typed it onto paper, and then I sent it. Okay, which was double the effort. And but then as soon as I got my computer, my desktop, first of all, I couldn't. My brain was. I needed a pen. Now I can't. I can't think unless my fingers are on the keyboard, which is a strange thing. That keyboardত আঙুলিকেইটা থাকিলেহে মই মোৰ প্লট ক্যাৰেক্টাৰ সেইবোৰ আহি
Okay.
যায়, নহলে নাহে মোৰ, কি কৰিম?
I think it's like earthing of energies. You need to be earthed to to your land.
আৰু এতিয়া এনেকুৱা হৈছে এই ফোনৰ হোৱাটছএপ এণ্ড অল, দুটা আঙুলি দি পেলাই I can't write a novel obviously, but I can make do short pieces. Somebody says, can you send us, I'm somewhere else, and somebody says, can you send us a short 500-600 word piece, and I do it with my two thumbs. So I think technology, the thing is that these people who make these technologies, they make them very user friendly. Okay, and motamoti jane, those people who are sitting there, like my son knows that motamoti, that this one is very challenged. Eto সহজ করে নিদিলে she will not be able to do it. সেইকাৰণে সহজ কৰি দিয়ে, just give her that initial hesitation. আৰু একটা কথা, এই যেতিয়া মই বহুত বেছি হৈছে।
You're breaking up. I think your connection is a little skewed. Just a second.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, it had gone blank.
Oh.
Come across the paper commission koile, and so this editing process, sending sending the work, getting back to me, agote to bahut samoy, because I have lived so long and I have been writing so long, so I know what it was before technology. আমি পঠিয়াইছিলো এনেকুৱা বিগ মেনুস্ক্ৰিপ্ট, আকৌ সেইবোৰ এডিট কৰি পেলাই আকৌ আহিছিলে, ইট টুক মানে ইয়াৰ্ছ, আই কেন সে দ্য হোল প্ৰচেছ। কিন্তু এতিয়া within a month everything is done if all of us sit together, editor, publisher, everybody, writer. সেইকাৰণে এইখিনি খুব সুবিধা হৈছে, মোৰ কাৰণেতো ভীষণ সুবিধা হৈছে। মই ইংৰাজীত লিখো কাৰণে I know
আপনার কথা ইয়াত কোনবাই লিখিছে, আপনার কথা কোনবাই লিখিছে, সাবরিন আহমেদে লিখিছে, the Mitra Foucault's take on condensed writing opens the engaging debate on the power of the written word on electronic medium, which is so relevant in this Android age. I think you're right where you should be.
মই দেখিছো তেখেতে লিখা,
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Please ask. Go ahead.
Yeah. So actually, আপনি ইমান উপর বস্তু লিখিছে মানে specific বস্তু actually to kind of hone down is a little tough. But I will definitely have this question. You have the central মানে female characters in your writing. You do
Right.
have
That's
yeah.
perceptive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So আপনার কিন্তু আছে those will be inspired কিছুমান biographical যেন লাগে অলপ, and some are obviously fictional, which will be inspired from life. আপনার লিখার, is there a kind of a definitive female Assamese identity which you really wanted to take out to print or paper in your case when you started?
Because for me, it's not, this is not true for everybody. Kintu more karne writing is a very personal thing. Okay, this does not mean it's autobiographical. Okay, what I write is fiction. And even when I'm writing,
I said it's kind of biographical, but like it's like borrowed from things that you hear that way.
Hi. No, it's, yes, definitely. You're right. For instance, if I can give what I'm working on right now, this lockdown began in March. So just before that, I was out of the country. And, you know, that it's biographical, but not autobiographical, because the things that I saw happening in that place out of the country, and how people were reacting, and how the panic, and how things. So it's definitely biographical. But also, you know, if as a writer, as a fiction writer, you have to have some distance to na thakile, you become too involved. It's not a story anymore. I'm a storyteller, okay? But as a storyteller, I need to bring in the backstory. I need to bring in the what shall I say, the ambience of the place. I need to bring in the characters, and why are these characters that way, okay? So for instance, in my Monsoon of Music, since you are, I mean, after all, a musician, so in Monsoon of Music, there are 4 main characters, all of them Shastriya Sangeet practitioners. One is a student, another one is her guru, another one is the guru's husband, who's also a musician, vocalist, and the other one is the person she's engaged to, a sitarist, a star. The others are not stars, they're excellent musicians. So you know the difference between a star and a guru. I mean, they're not necessarily the same kind of people. So a lot of it was from my, I wouldn't say experience, no, but from my observation. You know, how it is backstage, how do you feel, how do others feel, how would you feel when you're preparing, when you're doing the mic testing, when you're doing all of that. So it was from observation. And what happens when you go to you know, a smaller town, and the green rooms are horrible, and the washrooms are terrible, so that kind of thing as well. So this is, and also from all the things
that bit was autobiographical.
yeah.
Sure.
Awesome. Yes.
The not so good bits.
Lots of good bits as well. The music, my God, the music, that's the main hero. Yeah. So that's the thing, yes. And I think for every writer, this observation is the main thing. I won't say, you know, you're not putting yourself, but in a way you are, because experiences are so important. And also because you are experiencing this, you are also an observer. So observation for me is the main thing, and putting in those details to make it seem real. Yeah. Tell me. Yeah.
So, but আপনার লগত আপনি observe করা, is there like a classic Assamese female trait that you always wanted to write about? Classic Assamese female trait, or do you don't want to? You don't want to tell?
No, hi. So many beleg. I don't know. You cannot stereotype actually. Classic.
No, I'm just asking you. Yeah. Mano thake to.
As
Let me rephrase this.
I'll answer that.
Let me, কথাটো হ'ল, as a musician, there are certain stories we want to do, you know, and as there are certain songs we want to do. We want to do because we haven't heard those songs in the ecosystem of songs that we have heard.
Absolutely.
And also and from the place from where we have sprung, there are stories we want to say. So coming from that angle, মই সেইটো কথা কৈছো মানে
হয় হয় নহয় মই এটা yeah, you are right in so many ways, because jodio I write in English, and I'm not saying jodio in that way. English is also Indian language. I write as an Assamese writer, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, in one of the, I think in one of the PhD thesis or something, somebody had written, which I thought was very perceptive, that these are Assamese stories written in English. So eto to hoye, aru it so happens that many, but not all, okay, many of my heroes, protagonists, they are female, because somehow my voice comes out better through a female protagonist. Yeah. So, for instance, in The Collector's Wife, or even in my earlier books, in The Collector's Wife, first of all, I thought I would make the hero the collector. Okay. But you get only one perspective. Then I thought I would, because it's about the student's agitation, I would make a student. But that would also be a limited point of view. So Collector's Wife, she's a teacher in a college, so she has access to the students as well as to the collector, who is the center of power. So yes, and in her name is Rukmini. Rukmini is, for me at that time, because this is set in the late 70s, early 80s.
এই সিনপসিসটো পঢ়ি থাকোতে মোৰ এনেকুৱা লাগিছিল অপৰূপা চিনেমাখনৰ নিচিনা লাগিছিল. I don't know why. Suddenly আমাৰ জাহ্নু বৰুৱাৰ অপৰূপা, somehow the vision, the optics of the story were অলপ অপৰূপাৰ.
But every reader is free to connect in whatever way, because ultimately we connect to our own experiences. When I read or when I listen to your songs, I connect to my own experience also.
Of course.
Of course. Yeah. So Rukmini, the quintessential Assamia woman, okay, prothomote hesitant, Olaman, I'm talking of my generation. This next generation is different. Olaman mane bhal swali hobo lage, olaman mattu olaman komke dibo lage, besi opinion bur etiao gawe sawe ase, মানে opinion bur besi dibo nalage, and mane etu hole manuhe ki kobo is still a big thing. Okay, right. But she evolves. All my heroes and heroines, they evolve, and she is not like a firebrand, but ultimately she takes a path that is not at all conventional. She has to take that because circumstances have changed so much around her, so she takes that unconventional path, and which I think is true of many Assamese women of my generation, because we are going through a lot of change. And we are also at the forefront of change in many ways. I have seen my friends, women friends, Iman change. They are facing so many things, and they have brought in so much change. Next generation will do the same, I think.
I think all the writing that you have done, I'm sure the ones that have predated the globalization of optics, right. I think they have helped break a lot of stereotypes. I'm very sure, because it's about breaking the stereotype.
That's very nice of you to say so, and I hope so. Yes,
I'm sure they are.
Yes, I hope so. So anything
and they're coming to music and literature. Right. So এতিয়া কথাটো হল, আমি with these conversations that we are having, এতিয়া today is writers. The previous session was around theater in Assam, mobile theater. তাৰ আগতে আমি কৰিছিলো about the environment. এতিয়া যেটো বাগজান দিহিং পাটকাই যেটো জ্বলন্ত এটা হেৰি হৈ আছে, and তাৰ আগতে so the thing was, as an artist, I bring a sense of artistic perspective into this conversation, and
I think holistic, complete. Yes, yeah,
we bring in a different. I cannot call myself a journalist or a political analyst or an environmentalist. I'm an artist who has a perspective on things that I wish to speak about, and I
Right.
think on that, and I think you've used the same kind of tool or power to kind of
You've gone off.
get.
I can't hear.
Oh wow!
I can't
Okay.
hear you.
Can you not? Oh, all right. Let me. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Oh, just when we were getting good. Okay, we'll just wait it out. I think we were on a brilliant thing here, but we were coming to the end of that bit. মই এইটোকে ক'ব খুজিছিলোঁ যে the way we use music as a tool to. আপুনি শুনিছেনে বাইদেউ? Can you hear me? Okay. I think we have a problem with the networks. We were just getting to the point where things were, and I was rounding up the discussion, but I wanted to say that music was part of the perspective that she would form to write. Anyway. Okay. I think I'll take leave. I'll come to the next writer. Namaskar, Baidu. Good evening to you.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hi. আপোনাক প্ৰথমবাৰৰ বাবে এনেকৈ লগ পাইছোঁ on a digital medium. আৰু really honored আপুনি সময় দিছে আমাক আজি।
মোৰো ভাল লাগিছে।
হয়। আপুনি দেখিছে অলপ দেৰি ৰ'ব লগা হ'ল, তাৰমানে আমাৰ ৱেইটিং ৰুম এৰিয়া এটা থাকে ডিজিটেলি, আপুনি ৰৈ পেলাই শুনি আছে।
কোনো একো কথা নহয় সেইটো। হয় হয়।
So
ধৰক
তাকে মই হয়
মানে এটা বেয়া পৰিস্থিতি তাৰ মাজত আপোনালোকক কেনেকে লগ পাইছো, মোৰ মনটো অলপ পাতল হৈছে, ভাল লাগিছে।
হয়। তাকে মই এই বাইদেউক বিত্ৰ বাইদেউক কৈ আছিলো আৰু মৃণাল দাকো কৈ আছিলো যে মানে আমাৰ জেনেৰেশ্যনটোক আৰু আমাৰ পিছত অহাখিনি আমাৰ অডিয়েঞ্চ সকলক বহুত ধৰণৰ উইজডম দৰকাৰ, তাৰমানে যোনটো কাৰণে আমি এইখিনি উই আৰ ফৰৱাৰ্ডিং দিছ শ্ব'জ। It's to have thought flowing both ways, যোনটো ভাবিছিলো কথাটো, আৰু সেইটোৱে হৈছেগে। আজি প্ৰথমে মৃণাল দাই আৰম্ভ কৰি মৃণাল দা 4খন কিতাপৰ কথা পাতিলো, আৰু তাৰ 2-3খনমান মই পঢ়িছো কিতাপ, আপোনাৰ ওচৰলৈও আহিছো। এতিয়া কথাটো হ'ল আপোনাৰ এটা ষ্টৰী যোনটো মোক যোনে বেছিক চিনপচিছ পঠিয়াইছে, মেৰিয়াম অষ্টিন
অথবা হীৰা বৰুৱা।
হয়, আপুনি চমুকে ক'ব পাৰিব নেকি? মানে ইটছ আ ভেৰি ইণ্টাৰেষ্টিং ষ্টৰী। মই আপোনাৰ পৰা অকণমান শুনিব খুজিছো। আপুনি 2-3 মিনিট 4 মিনিট লৈ চিনপচিছটো আপোনাৰ মুখেৰে শুনিব খুজিছো।
এই গল্পটোত মই এগৰাকী মানুহৰ কথা দেখুৱাইছো যি একাকিত্বত ভুগিছে। এইটোতো আমাৰ এটা গোটেই পৃথিৱীজুৰি সমস্যা আছিল। তাত মই এগৰাকী সৰু ছোৱালীৰ কথা কৈছো, যাক খুৰাকে এবাৰ এখন ফটো আনি দিছিল। ফটোখনত এজনী গুলপীয়া ফ্ৰক পিন্ধা মেম আৰু তাই এটা কুকুৰ, আৰু খুৰাকে কৈছিলে যে এই মেমজনীয়ে কুকুৰটোৰ লগত কথা পাতি থাকে। এইটো মোৰ নিজৰ ব্যক্তিগত অভিজ্ঞতা দেই। মোৰ এজন খুৰাই এই ফটোখন দেখুৱাইছিলে, আৰু ছোৱালীজনীয়ে কি কৰিলে, স্কুললৈ সেই ফটোখন লৈ গৈ চবকে কৈছে যে চোৱাচোন, এই মেমজনীয়ে বোলে তাই কোনো নাই, কুকুৰটোৰ লগত কথা পাতি থাকে। সেই ঘটনাটো বহু মোৰ সৰু কালৰ ঘটনা, কিন্তু মই জীৱন দশাতে মই দেখিলো এগৰাকী মানুহ যি সঁচাকেই কুকুৰৰ লগত কথা পাতি থাকে এখন সৰু চহৰত থকা এজন মানুহ কি ভয়ংকৰ একাকিত্বত ভুগিছে সেই মানুহগৰাকী আৰু সেই মানুহগৰাকীৰ একাকিত্ব মই তুলি আনোতে মই চাৰিওকাষৰ সমাজখন তুলি আনিছো আৰু মই দেখুৱাবলৈ চেষ্টা কৰিছো কিহৰ কাৰণে মানুহ ইমান একাকী হয় কিন্তু গল্পটো মোৰ শেষ যিটো এণ্ডিং পজিটিভ এণ্ডিং তাত মানুহগৰাকীয়ে কি কৰিছে তেওঁ একাকিত্ব জয় কৰিছে এই যিটো আগলিনেছ অফ ইকনমিক ৰিলেশ্যনশ্বিপ এইটো মোৰ গল্পটোত খুবকে আছে সেই সকলোবিলাক পাৰ হৈ মানুহগৰাকীয়ে জীৱনৰ জয় গান গাইছে আৰু কিছুমান সাধাৰণ মানুহ একেবাৰে সাধাৰণ মানুহৰ লগত তেওঁ জীয়াই থাকিবলৈ লৈছে আৰু গল্পটো মই শেষ কৰিছো এগৰাকী মহিলা যি হস্পিটেললৈ গৈছে তেওঁ প্ৰসৱ বেদনাত ভুগি আছে আৰু মানুহজনীয়ে ভাবিছে তাই যেতিয়া ঘূৰি আহিব মই এটা মধুৰিআমৰ জেলি কৰিম তাইক দিম খাবলৈ তাৰমানে তেওঁ সেই মানুহখিনিৰ লগত এটা সেইটো গঢ়ি তুলিছে মই এইটো কথাই কব বিচাৰিছো হয় মানুহ একাকী হয় কিন্তু মানুহৰ লগত মানুহে সেইটো গঢ়িব পাৰিলে এই একাকিত্ব জয় কৰিব পাৰে সেইটো গল্পই লিখিছিলো মৰিয়ম আস্তিন বিদেশত আছিল হয় আৰু এই হল হীৰা বৰুৱা ইয়াত কিন্তু একে হৈ গল তেওঁলোক দুয়ো এটা বিন্দুত তেওঁলোক মিলি গল
আপনি মানে এনেকুৱা এটা ষ্টৰীত মানে আপুনি মানুহৰ সাইকোলজিকেল কণ্ডিশ্যনিং আৰু ম্যান এনিমেল ৰিলেশ্যনশ্বিপ social structures বহুতখিনি কথা লৈ আহিছে
হয় হয়
এই ষ্টৰীটো আপুনি কেতিয়া লিখিছিল
এইটো ষ্টৰীটো মোৰ কেইবছৰমান হ'ল মই তেতিয়া চাকৰিত আছিলো নাই আই এম এ ৰিটায়াৰ্ড পাৰ্চন চাকৰিত থাকোঁতেই মই এই গল্পটো লেখা আৰু মই সাধাৰণতে মই যেতিয়া গল্প এটা লেখো বা কিবা লেখো মই বাস্তৱৰ ওপৰত ভিত্তি কৰি লওঁ আৰু এই চৰিত্ৰটো মই নিজে দেখা চৰিত্ৰ
তাকে মানে মই তাকে ভাবিছো মানে ইটস আ বায়োগ্ৰাফিকেল নোট
ঠিক মোৰ কথা নহয় মোৰ নিজৰ কথা নহয়
মই অটোবায়োগ্ৰাফিকেল বুলি কোৱা নাই বায়োগ্ৰাফিকেল
বায়োগ্ৰাফিকেল মই সাধাৰণতে সকলোবিলাক চৰিত্ৰই মোৰ আধাৰটো বাস্তৱ হয় অৱশ্যে মোৰ নিজৰ ভিতৰত মই ধাৰণ কৰো আকৌ নৱজন্ম পাই চৰিত্ৰবিলাকে কিন্তু প্ৰত্যেকটো চৰিত্ৰই মোৰ বাস্তৱৰ এইখন সমাজৰ পৰা উঠি আহে আৰু হীৰা বৰুৱাও এইখন সমাজৰ পৰা উঠি আহিছে তেওঁৰ একাকিত্বও এইখন সমাজৰ পৰা আহিছে
আপুনি যোনটো মানে এইটো যোনটো আপুনি লিখিলে মানুহৰ এনিমেল আজিকালি যোনটো চলিছে এতিয়া পৃথিৱীত যোনটো চলিছে আজি অষ্ট্ৰেলিয়াত আজি প্ৰায় 500 মিলিয়ন এনিমেলছ জ্বলি নাইকিয়া হৈ গ'ল এই বছৰৰ প্ৰথমতে অষ্ট্ৰেলিয়ান ফায়াৰ্ছত
হয় হয়
এতিয়া তাৰ ওপৰত আমাৰ মাজতে দিহিং পাটকাই কথা ওলাই আছে বাগদানত এটা অদ্ভুত কথা হৈছে আপোনাক এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ কথাবোৰে যিহেতু আপুনি এটা ষ্টৰী লিখিছে আপুনি সেই ষ্টৰীটোৰ লগত বহুত সময় আছে সময় দিছে কিতাপখন লিখাৰ আগতেও কিতাপখন লিখাৰ পিছতো আমিওতো গান বনাওঁ আমি গম পাওঁ আমি কিমান দিন এটা বস্তু লৈ থাকো আপোনাৰ কেনেকুৱা লাগে হোৱাট ডু ইউ থিংক মানুহৰ ৰিলেশ্যনশ্বিপটো ম্যান এনিমেলৰ ৰিলেশ্যনশ্বিপটো ক'লৈ গৈছে কনফ্লিক্টটো আমি বুজি পাওঁ হোৱাট এবাউট দ্য ৰিলেশ্যনশ্বিপ মানুহৰ যিটো প্ৰকৃতিৰ লগত যিটো সম্পৰ্ক এই সম্পৰ্কটো মানুহে নিজেই নষ্ট কৰিছে মই এটা সৰু কথা কওঁ মই টংলাত চাকৰি কৰিছিলো আৰু মোৰ ঘৰৰ ওচৰত এখন নদী আছিলে সেই নদীত কিছুমান সোণালী পাখিৰ ৰঙা ৰঙা মাছ আছিলে তাৰপিছত কি হ'ল এই নদীখন ইট টাৰ্নছ ইনটু চেণ্ড মাইন তাত আৰু সেইখন নদী হৈ নাথাকিলে তাত ট্ৰেক্টৰ নামিলে তাৰপিছত তাত জেচিবি নামিলে আৰু গোটেই নদীখন এক বালিৰ কৰি পেলাই তাত অহৰহ ট্ৰেক্টৰ চলে বালি তাত মাছবোৰ নোহোৱা হৈ গ'ল মোৰ চকুৰ আগতে মাছবোৰ নোহোৱা হৈ গ'ল এই মাছবোৰৰ লগত মোৰ এটা সম্পৰ্ক হৈছিলে তাৰ জিভাৰ জুতিৰ কাৰণে নহয় এই সুন্দৰ মাছবোৰ এই মাছবোৰৰ এটা চৰিত্ৰ কি জানেনে আকাশ যেতিয়া গোলাপী হয় ৰাতিপুৱা ঠিক সেইখিনি সময়ত মাছকেইটা ওলাই আহে আৰু শিলে শিলে জঁপিয়াই ধৰে ফুৰে আৰু তেতিয়া মানে মাছমৰীয়াবিলাকে গৈ সেই মাছখিনি ধৰে ইমান ধুনীয়া মাছকেইটা সেই মাছকেইটা কি কৰিলে মানুহে নদীখন খান্দি মাছকেইটা শেষ কৰিব নদীয়ে শেষ তাত মাছ ক'ত থাকিব মোৰ চকুৰ আগতে ৰঙা ৰঙা ৰেখা থকা ধুনীয়া মাছবোৰ নোহোৱা হৈ গ'ল তেনেকে যে আমাৰ কিমান বস্তু নোহোৱা হৈ গৈছে এইটো মই চকুৰ আগত দেখা আমি শেষ কৰি আছো প্ৰকৃতি আমি আমাৰ যিবোৰ বাগজানৰ ফটো ওলাইছে পানীৰ ওপৰত তেল আছে তেলৰ তলত মাছ আছে
তেলৰ তলত মাছ কি কষ্ট পাইছে হয়
তো আনবিলিভেবল এটা কথা হৈছে
হয় মানুহৰ
এইটো আপনি আপোনাৰ নেক্সট ষ্টৰিটো আপুনি কিহৰ ওপৰত লিখিব যদি যেতিয়ালৈকে আপুনি এনিমেলছৰ লগত আপোনাৰ এম্পেথিটো আছে যদি কালি এই ধৰণৰ অৱস্থা হয় আপোনাৰ নেক্সট ষ্টৰিটো ক'ৰ পৰা আহিব
আপুনি মোৰ জীৱ-জন্তুক লৈ পেলাই লেখা মোৰ বহু গল্প আপুনি
মানে যিহেতু এইটো চলিছে নহয় এতিয়া যোনখন পৃথিৱী যোনফালে গৈছে আমাৰ যোনখন
হয়
পৃথিৱী যেনেকে গৈছে আপোনাৰ
হয়
নেক্সট ষ্টৰিটো আজি যদি মই কওঁ আপোনাৰ কি লাগে আপোনাৰ নেক্সট ষ্টৰিটো আপোনাৰ ক'ৰ পৰা আহিব তাৰমানে আপুনি ভাবিছেনে কেতিয়াবা নাই এইটো ভাবা নাই আপুনি নাভাবিবও পাৰে
নাই নেক্সট ষ্টৰিটো মোৰ
লাগেনে
সদায় লেখাত প্ৰকৃতি আছেই আৰু প্ৰকৃতি ধ্বংসৰ বিৰুদ্ধে মই মোৰ দুৰ্বল কলমেৰে সদায় কৈ আছো মোৰ টুকুৰা বাহৰ সোণৰ বেজী উপন্যাসখনত প্ৰকৃতি ধ্বংসৰ এক ইতিহাস বুলি ক'ব পাৰে সেইখন উপন্যাস মোৰ তাত মই প্ৰথমৰ পৰা শেষলৈকে কৈছো প্ৰকৃতি কেনেকে মানুহে শেষ কৰিছে এই সুন্দৰ বৰ্ণাঢ্য প্ৰকৃতি কেনেকে শেষ হৈছে মই তাত খুব ভালকৈ দেখুৱাইছো
আচলতে মানে ম্যানকাইণ্ড মানে মানুহে বহুত ভুল কৰি আহিলে কিন্তু আজি এই কেইটা মাহত প্ৰকৃতিলৈ চাগে যিমান কথা পতা হৈছে 40 বছৰ হোৱা নাই চাগে এই 2 মাহত যিমান কথা ওলাইছে বা এই লাষ্ট এমাহত যিমান কথা ওলাইছে আৰু কেন্দ্ৰ কৰি আমাৰ অসমতো যিমান কথা আমি পাতিবলৈ এতিয়া বাধ্য হৈছো কাৰণ সেইদিনা এটা ক্লাইমেট চেঞ্জৰ দেখিছে গাৰ্ডিয়ানে ক'বাত আহিছে যে এতিয়া পৃথিৱীখন আকৌ উশাহ লৈছে কিন্তু হঠাতে এতিয়া উশাহ লৈছে কিন্তু হঠাতে এতিয়া গাড়ী মটৰ চলি ফেক্টৰী চলিবলৈ হঠাতে একেধৰণে আৰম্ভ হলে কিন্তু 6 মাহৰ পিছত সাংঘাতিক অৱস্থা হ'ব তাৰমানে
আকৌ হ'ব আগৰ দৰে
আকৌ নহয় এতিয়া খুব বেয়া হৈ যাব তাৰমানে পৃথিৱীখন অলপ বেলেগ হ'ল কিছুমান বস্তু চিষ্টেমছবোৰ বেলেগ হ'ল এতিয়া যদি একেধৰণে চলিব খোজে কৈছে 6 মান্থছত ডেঞ্জাৰ আছে হিউজ ডেঞ্জাৰ আমি এইখিনি কথা আমি বুজি চলিব লাগিব কাৰণ আমি আজি 6 মাহৰ আগতে ভাবা নাছিলো কোভিডে আমাক এনেকে ঘৰৰ ভিতৰত সোমাই দিব আমি ভাবা নাছিলো আৰু আজিৰ যুগটোত মানুহে মানে মই আগতেও কৈছো এইটো কথা মানুহে ধৰ্ম বাদ দি সায়েন্সৰ ফালে যাব লাগিব ৰিলিজন এৰি পেলাই সায়েন্স যাব লাগিব আৰু ইমোশন এৰি পেলাই চাগে লজিকৰ ফালে যাব লাগিব
নিঃসন্দেহে একেবাৰে সত্য কথা কৈছে আমি ধৰ্ম এৰি আমি মানুহৰ ওচৰলৈ যাব লাগিব ধৰ্ম আচলতে কানিহে শাসক শ্ৰেণীয়ে কানি খুৱাই মানুহক দুৰ্বল কৰি থয় আমি ধৰ্ম বাদ দিব লাগিব কানি বাদ দিব লাগিব আৰু পৃথিৱীৰ সৈতে জীৱনৰ সৈতে আমি মুখামুখি হ'ব লাগিব আপুনি খুব সঁচা কথা কৈছে
আপোনাক কোনোবাই সুধিছেনে আপোনাৰ ধৰ্ম কি
সোধে কেতিয়াবা কিন্তু মোৰ ধৰ্ম মই কওঁ মোৰ মানুহৰ ধৰ্ম কোনোদিন মই ধৰ্মত বিশ্বাস কৰা নাই আৰু মই ভাবো যে ধৰ্মই যিমান মানুহ সভ্যতা নষ্ট কৰিছে যিমান মানুহ মাৰিছে কোনো এটমিক বোম বা কোনো যুদ্ধই কৰা নাই আপুনি চাওক পৃথিৱীৰ ইতিহাস ধৰ্মই কিমান মানুহ মাৰিছে
আমি ধৰ্ম লৈ মানে ইতিহাস যোনটো কৈছে আমি ধৰ্ম লৈ এটাতকে অধৰ্ম কাম কেইটা কৰিলো নেকি বাৰু
ধৰ্মক আধাৰ কৰি মানুহে পৃথিৱীত যিমান জঘন্য কাম আছে যিমান পাপ আছে চব কৰি আছে ধৰ্মই যিফালে বিশ্বাস কৰে তেওঁলোকে মানসিক শান্তিৰ কাৰণে কৰে আৰু আমি ইয়াত ধৰ্ম কি কৰিছো পাপ কৰিবৰ কাৰণে পৃথিৱী ধ্বংস কৰিবৰ কাৰণে মানুহৰ সভ্যতা ধ্বংস কৰিবৰ কাৰণে আমি ধৰ্মক ব্যৱহাৰ কৰিছো ধৰ্মই পৃথিৱীত নোহোৱা হলে পৃথিৱীত বহু ঘটনা নহলহেঁতেন মই মানুহক বিশ্বাস কৰো ধৰ্ম নহয়
ধৰ্ম তেতিয়াহ'লে যোনটো কয় তাৰমানে কিতাপৰ কথা যেনেকে কয় মানুহে যে ধৰ্মটো সেইখন মানে যেনেকে কয় বাইবল ইজ দ্য বিগেষ্ট বুক অফ ফিকশ্যন that was ever written এইখন বাইবেলখন বাৰু এটাকে ডাঙৰ ফিকশ্যন নেকি বা তাৰ পিছত আমাৰ এনিড ব্লাইটন আহিলে নেকি বাৰু তেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ কথা হ'ব পাৰে নেকি বাৰু তাৰ পিছত আপোনালোকৰ কিতাপবোৰ আহিব
বাইবেল মই পঢ়িছো ধৰক মই মিছনাৰী স্কুলত পঢ়িছিলো বাইবেল আমাৰ ক্লাছ আছিলে এটা মই বাইবেলখন আমাৰ ক্লাছত টেক্সট বুক আছিলে মই পঢ়িছো এইখন তাৰপিছত ধৰ ইংলিছ লিটাৰেচাৰ পঢ়োঁতে বাইবেল পঢ়িছোৱে মই বাইবেলখন এখন গ্ৰন্থ বুলিয়ে পঢ়ো কীৰ্তন দশম কীৰ্তন পঢ়িছো এইবিলাকৰ তাৰ যি সাহিত্যিক সৌন্দৰ্য সেইবিলাকো পঢ়িছো বাইবেলৰ ষ্টৰিবিলাকো মোৰ ভাল লাগে কিন্তু মোৰ কাৰণে
বাইদেউ এক মিনিট মই তেখেতক এবাৰ লৈ মিত্ৰ ফুকন তেখেতো ৰৈ আছে আমি স্ক্ৰীনখনত আনি লওঁ তেখেতক হয় আপুনি কৈ আছিলে বাইদেউ কওক বাইদেউ কওক
মইতো কৈছো যে বাইবেল মোৰ কাৰণে সাহিত্য কীৰ্তনো সাহিত্য এইবিলাক সকলোবিলাক মোৰ কাৰণে সাহিত্য, সুন্দৰ সাহিত্য, আৰু ইয়াৰ বাহিৰে মোৰ তাত একো নাই, এই ধৰণে মই বিচাৰ কৰো। আৰু ধৰ্ম মই বিন্দু মাত্ৰ বিশ্বাস কৰো, আৰু এই সাহিত্যবিলাকক লৈ মানুহে ধৰ্মৰ নামত যি অনাচাৰ কৰিছে, যি ক্ষমতা, ধৰ্ম এতিয়া ক্ষমতা লাভৰ এক হাথিয়াৰ হৈ পৰিছে, ৰাজনৈতিক হাথিয়াৰ ধৰ্ম। এই ধৰণে ধৰ্ম ইমান বেয়াকে ব্যৱহাৰ কৰা মই জীৱনত কোনো দিনে দেখা নাছিল। মই খুব অসন্তুষ্ট, আৰু মই নিৰাশ হৈছো ধৰ্মক এই ধৰণে ব্যৱহাৰ কৰা দেখি। মই আপোনাক এটা সৰু ঘটনা কব পাৰোনে? মই এবাৰ দিল্লীৰ ৰাস্তাত আছো, তাত এটা মোৰ ল'ৰাই গাড়ী চলাইছে, মই আহি আছো, তাতে হঠাৎ দেখিলো যে এটা ডাঙৰ এটা প্ৰচেছন, কিবা গণেশ মূৰ্তি নে কিবা এটা প্ৰচেছন লৈ আহিছে, ইমান মানুহৰ চিঞৰ বাখৰ গোলমাল একদম। মই ভাবিলো এই ধৰ্মৰ নামত এইটো কি চলিছে? তাত মোৰ এনেকুৱা লাগিলে মই যদি তাত থিয় হৈ থাকো, মোক যদি এতিয়াই মাৰি পেলাব। এটা মব, এটা চাইকলজি, ভয়ানক এটা ভাইলেণ্ট মব চাইকলজি। মই খুব দেখি মই কঁপি উঠিছিলো। এতিয়া সেয়াই হৈছে, ধৰ্মৰ নামত মানুহে ক্ষমতাৰ গাদী দখলৰ ৰাজনীতি চলাইছে। আৰু এনেধৰণে মই ভাবো সেইকাৰণে মই ধৰ্মক আচলতে ঘিণ কৰো। আৰু যিখিনি মানুহে ধৰ্মক শান্তিৰ কাৰণে লৈছে, সঁচাকে ভাল পায় যিসকলে, সেই ধৰ্মৰ সেই শান্ত ৰূপ এতিয়া মানুহে বিকৃত কৰি পেলাইছে। নহয়নে বাৰু? সম্পূৰ্ণভাৱে বিকৃত কৰিছে। ধৰ্মৰ এটা হেৰি আছে, এটা শান্ত মানুহ শান্তি দিব পৰা এটা ক্ষমতা আছে, কিন্তু সেই ক্ষমতা এতিয়া আমাৰ যি ধৰ্ম দেখিছো, সেই ধৰ্মত সেই মানুহ শান্তি দিব পৰা ক্ষমতা আৰু নাই।
আমাৰ মই এটা লাষ্ট কুৱেশ্যন আপোনালোককো সুধো বস্তুটো, যেনেকে এতিয়া মই তাকে আহিছিলো যেতিয়া মোৰ কানেকশ্যনটো কাট অফ হৈ গ'ল মিত্ৰ বাইদেউৰ লগত। কথাটো হ'ল আমি এতিয়া মই কথা পাতো, মই এজন আৰ্টিষ্ট, মই এজন মিউজিকেল আৰ্টিষ্ট।
মিত্ৰাক দেখি বৰ ভাল লাগিছে বহু দিনৰ মূৰত। বহু দিনৰ মূৰত নাই? আমি কিমান দিন একেলগে কিমান কাম কৰিলো।
মই এটা কথাই সুধিব খুজিছিলো, আজি যোনটো মই আমাৰ যোনটো দৃষ্টিভংগী, আমি যোনখন লেন্সেদি চাওঁ, সেইটো মই যদি মোৰ বুলি কওঁ, সেইটো হ'ল সেইটোত সংগীত আছে, সেইটো আৰ্ট আছে, সংগীত। এইটো মোৰ, এণ্ড সেইখন মোৰ লেন্সো হয় চাবলৈ, আৰু সংগীত বুলি ক'লে দেট ইজ মাই টুল অলছ'। ইটছ both my lens and my tool. মই মিত্ৰ বাইদেউক এইটো কুৱেশ্যন কৰিব আহিছিলো, তেতিয়া মই কাট খাই গ'ল। মই প্ৰথমতে মিত্ৰ বাইদেউ আছিলো। মিত্ৰ বাইদেউ, আপোনাৰ what is your lens and what is your tool?
There are so many lenses. I think you have mentioned two important lenses and tools. I mean, for you, music is one, but I think we have many lenses which we may not be aware of. I mean, subconsciously, as a woman primarily, Nohoy Arupa, woman growing up as a woman is a lens. Growing up in different places, but also in Assam, that is a lens. And that is also a tool. It's a huge tool. I am a woman writing of this region, and my tool is language. Moi koa nai Ingraji bhasha boli koa nai, but for every writer, language is a tool. This is my tool. This is Orupa's tool. And how we use that language is our identity in a way. Aru moi Orupar translations, I have worked on her translations, edited them. I do translations, so I find that different writers have different ways of using that tool. Janake, I think music, you use your voice is also a tool. You use your voice in a different way from somebody else, because whatever your physicality, your training, your aesthetics, that is what is influencing your tool. So similarly, we use language, and another huge tool is my surroundings. And really, I feel, this lockdown, I am working, we are all working, we are doing a lot of stories, But unless we have inputs from people, and the environment, Orupa, you all were talking about the environment. To write about the environment, we need to go out there. খালি বহি পেলাই মাত্ৰ বহি পেলাই এনেকে লিখি থাকিলে imagination, there is a limit.
Yeah,
It has to be fueled. It has to be fueled. যেনেকে music auto, it has to be fueled.
It has to be felt. It has to be felt also.
কারণ
Felt.
এইখিনি মেইন কথা, whether it is music, whether it is লিখা, whether it is whatever form of art, it has to be.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Orupa বাইদেউ, আপনি আপনার আপনার লেন্স কি আর আপনার টুল কি বুলি ভাবে? ভাষাটোতো হয়, যেনেকে মই এটা ভাবো মিত্ৰ বাইদেউৰ মিউজিকটো আছে, মিউজিক ইজ অলসো আ লেন্স, কাৰণ তেনেকেও চাব শিকিছে বস্তু এটা। আপনার it has to be, definitely, there is no way out. You are a musician. So Orupa বাইদেউ, apart from আপনার তো কলমটো আপনার টুল হল, কিন্তু আপনার বেলেগো আছে নেকি তেনেকুৱা কিবা এটা যোনটো আপনার আৰু এটা কথা এটা বুজিবলে, ভাষাৰ বাহিৰে আপনার বুজিবলে আৰু এটা মিডিয়াম আছে নেকি? এটা সাবজেক্ট
মোৰ মিডিয়াম হৈছে মানুহ। মানুহক লৈ মই লেখো, মানুহৰ কথাই লিখিবলৈ যত্ন কৰো। আৰু বিশেষকৈ মানুহ মানে মই আমাৰ সমাজৰ যিখিনি মানুহ যন্ত্ৰণাত ভুগি আছে, যিখিনি মানুহক সমাজে একাষৰীয়া কৰি দিছে, মই এইখিনি মানুহৰ কথাই আজিলৈকে বেছিকে লিখি আছো। আৰু মোৰ লেন্স হৈছে আমাৰ, প্ৰথমতে মই কওঁ, মই খুব ফোক টেইলছ, তাৰপিছত ফোক সং, এইবিলাক মই খুব ভালকে লিখিবলৈ মানে খুব সহায় হয় মোৰ। মই এটা গল্পৰ কথা কওঁ। মই সেই গল্পটোত মই এজনী খুব অনাখৰী বড়ো ছোৱালীৰ কথা কব খুজিছিলো, কিন্তু এই ছোৱালীজনী মই কেনেকে কম, তাই ক খ লিখিব নাজানে, তাইক মই কেনেকে তুলি আনিম? তেতিয়াই মই বড়ো যিবিলাক তেওঁলোকৰ কিন্তু বৰ সুন্দৰ দেই সাধু আৰু তেওঁলোকৰ যিবোৰ লোকসংগীত, এইবিলাক মই পঢ়িলো। পঢ়াৰ পিছত অকল বড়ো লোকসংগীত, বড়ো ফোকলোৰ, এইবিলাক লৈয়ে মই এই চৰিত্ৰটো তুলি আনিলো। তাৰপিছত ধৰ বহুত সময়ত মোৰ টুল হয় চিনেমা। ধৰ মই কুৰুচোৱাৰ সপোনৰ কথা লিখিছো, কুৰুচোৱাৰ ড্ৰিম চিনেমাখনত ভেজা দিয়ে মই এখন উপন্যাসিকা লিখিছো, কুৰুচোৱাৰ সপোন, সিহঁতৰ সপোন মোৰ সপোন। সেই ধৰণে আৰু বহুত সময়ত পেইণ্টিং, শিল্পকলা, পেইণ্টিঙো মোৰ সময়ত বহুত সময় টুল হৈ পৰে। সেই ধৰণে মই চিনেমা ব্যৱহাৰ কৰো, ফোক সং ব্যৱহাৰ কৰো, ফোক টেল ব্যৱহাৰ কৰো, চিনেমা ব্যৱহাৰ কৰো, পেইণ্টিং ব্যৱহাৰ কৰো, এইবিলাক মোৰ টুল। কিন্তু এই টুল বিলাক ব্যৱহাৰ কৰোতে মোৰ মূল লক্ষ্য হৈছে মই মানুহক তুলি অনা, মানুহৰ জীৱনক তুলি অনা। যিমান পাৰো চেষ্টা কৰো, আমি সকলো লেখকে আমি চেষ্টা কৰো মানুহৰ কথা কবলৈ, বিভিন্ন মানুহৰ কথা চেষ্টা কৰিছো। আৰু এইখিনিয়ে মোৰ টুল। ভাষাটো আছেই, ভাষাটো থাকিবই। আৰু আমাৰ জনজীৱনৰ যিবোৰ জনজীৱনৰ ভাষা আমাৰ অতি সুন্দৰ। সাধাৰণ মানুহৰ, মই এবাৰ মাজুলীলৈ গৈছিলো, যাওঁতে খুব বৰষুণ দিছে। এজন মানুহক মই কলো, ইমান বৰষুণ দিছে। তেতিয়া মানুহজনে কলে, আইজনী এতিয়া পানী গাভিনী হৈছে নহয়, ৱাটাৰ ইজ প্ৰেগনেণ্ট, পানী গাভিনী হৈছে। কি সুন্দৰ শব্দ। মই এখন উপন্যাসিকা লিখিছিলো, সেই উপন্যাসখনৰ নাম দিছিলো পানী গাভিনী আছিল। মই জনগণৰ মুখৰ ভাষা লবলৈ যত্ন কৰো। জনগণৰ মুখৰ ভাষা অতি পয়েটিক, অতি লিৰিকেল। গতিকে এই ধৰণে মোৰ এইবিলাকে টুল। আৰু মই মানুহৰ কথাই কবলৈ বেছি চেষ্টা কৰি আহিছো। কিমান দূৰ পাৰিছো কব নোৱাৰো, মানুহৰ কথাই কবলৈ চেষ্টা কৰিছো। কিন্তু এইবিলাক আমাৰ লেখাটোতো আৰু আমাৰ ডকুমেন্টেশন নহয়, সাহিত্য। ইয়াত এটা আৰ্টিষ্টিক ফৰ্ম থাকিব লাগিব। আৰ্টিষ্টিক ফৰ্মটো মই এইবিলাকৰ পৰাই গোটাও। জনগণৰ মুখৰ ভাষা, সাহিত্য, চিনেমা, কবিতা, ছবি, এইবিলাকৰ পৰাই গোটাও। কিন্তু মোৰ মূল লক্ষ্য
মানুহ। বাইদেউ, থেংক ইউ। আজিলৈ অকমান আমাৰ সময়টো হেৰি হৈছে, কিন্তু আপুনি অহাৰ কাৰণে, আপুনি ইমান দেৰি ৰলে আমাৰ লগত, ইমান দিন থাকিলে, থেংক ইউ অৰুপা বাইদেউ ছ' মাচ। আৰু এইখিনি গোটেইখিনি হৈ যাওক। মই বিচাৰো মই অসমলৈ গৈ আপোনালোকক লগ পাওঁ। চেম গোজ ফৰ মিত্ৰা ফুকন। আমি হকে নহকে বন্ধ বুলি লগ পালো, বাট আই থিংক উই শুড ওপেন আপ। যেতিয়া হয়, আই উইল হেভ ইনাফ ৰিজন টু গো এণ্ড মিট ইউ। বাট আপোনালোক দুইজনকে অহাৰ কাৰণে খুবেই ভাল পালো। আৰু থেংক ইউ ছ' মাচ। থেংক ইউ, থেংক ইউ, থেংক ইউ, থেংক ইউ মিত্ৰাবা, থেংক ইউ।
Thanks for the nice evening.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine. The honor is mine too. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Bye, Mitra.
Bye. 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 So those were the most amazing. Bye bye, Mitraba. Yeah. মই just computer settings to এবাৰ change কৰি লৈছো. Just give me 1 minute, please. Hang on. আমাৰ লগত ধ্ৰুৱ হাজৰিকা ৰৈ আছে. Hello. Hi, I'm back. Our মোৰ লগত আছে Mr. Hello, good evening, Mr. Hazarika.
Hello, Joy. Good evening. Good evening.
Thank you for joining us and thank you for being here. আৰু আমাৰ আগতে আছিলে প্ৰথম আছিলে মৃণাল দা, তাৰপিছত অৰুপা বাইদেউ আহিলে, মিত্ৰ ফুকন আহিলে. So তাকে সবেই লিখিছে. I'll just read this out. Indrani, wow. Gaurav Bothaku, two inspiring women, probably for the first time on the same platform in media. Thank you. And the honor is mine. Papuri Bezbai likhise, such interesting. Pleasure, absolutely ours. The pleasure and the honor of holding. Rimpul Dioriko is awesome. Thank you. Papuri Bezbai, Mitraba, you create an amazing environment this evening. Of course, we cannot expect less. Indrani Sinhadas, such a privilege listening to Arupa ma'am and Mitra ma'am. They inspire us. Yeah. They are such brilliant people, all of them. But that's the thing, you know, amazing things in small packages. That's the idea of the story. So,
I see. Yeah.
So, sir, apnar to, you know, you have an amazing history from Shillong to writing to taekwondo. Martial
Joy,
arts.
yeah, I think,
Martial arts is amazing. Tell us. Martial arts is kind of guy.
well,
And it's so interesting.
though there is a slight, misinformation. Actually, I am in the shadow of my brother, who is better known as a martial artist. And I think some of it rubbed off on me. And because of that, that martial artist appellation is on, my shoulders. But
Are you being very humble? Are you being very humble in the shadow of an illustrious brother? Are you humble bragging?
No, Joy, humility is not my forte. I'm quite a show off that way.
Okay,
But,
all right.
Yeah, that's how it is. And I was actually, because I was in the sports department for a pretty long time as a bureaucrat, and I was elected, if that is the word, to be the president of the Taekwondo Association of Assam for almost a decade, 10 years.
Well, that's a long time. That's a long time.
But not because of me being an artist. That is because of my, bureaucracy. So, it's not fair to say I'm I'm competent as a martial artist.
So it's like your brother's fame rubbed up on you. What about taekwondo rubbing on you? Like what apni tarpa kiba shikile ne? It was like an academic pursuit.
Oh, no, yeah, that's a good question. You know, when we grew up in Shillong, much before the rest of Northeast India knew about martial artists, about Taekwondo,
Right.
there were guys from Malaysia and Thailand who came as students, and it was in 1994, 95, 96, 97. So that's when Taekwondo took its own form. And we were used to that, seeing my brother and his friends, and me also in my own little way, whatever little kata, there's a thing called kata, like, prefixed
Kata.
motion, kata. So we were all involved in that in one way or the other, Joy. But I'm not a professional martial artist, believe me. So that's how it was.
Okay. I think, you've come in as a writer, but, the various hats one can wear is what makes a conversation really interesting, and that is what you bring into the game. So, Aru, interestingly, more friend is on. He was part of the, kind of software and, startup system in Bangalore. So
Okay.
they went through very, very hard times through the burn. The companies crashed and they lost money.
True.
So he's one of my closest friends. So he went for a while to live at the Shaolin Temple. And
Shaolin Temple.
he lived with he lived with the monks. Yeah, he lived with the monks for about 3 months. There you can apply, you can go, you can stay. And the Shaolin Temple by itself has become such an amazing tourist attraction also that some people were thinking of taking it public and getting it on Wall Street. So
No,
there's a long arc to that.
Yeah.
So-
Actually, Taekwondo, in fact, all the martial arts, as far as I know, it requires a lot of meditation in its own way. It is a meditative art, but because the physics is used, the legs and arms are used, most people think it's a very severely physical art, but it's not that only. It's a mental art too. It requires a lot of meditation.
Mamane, why, Mr. Hazarika, actually, why I have brought up martial arts? Martial arts or when people have other things, it's so interesting to make a conversation because the world knows of your writing any which way. You have brought on the best people. So there is nothing new that I can take out of you. You are what you are. Kintu more martial arts because the origin of all martial arts is traced to India. Bodhisattva it's traced back to India as an Indian monk goisile, and that is the origin of Kung Fu in old China. And you trace back to this one monk who had traveled all the way from, I think, South India to China, and
Yes.
and that is the initial path of martial art. It comes back to India, and the Chinese, they took a different kind of discipline to it, and then the Japanese, then other South Asian
And
countries.
Korea,
Yeah, even
especially.
Korea.
The Korean version.
yeah.
Yes.
The Japanese, it didn't remain just a martial art with the Japanese. It moved into a kind of different philosophy in the next level of thinking and evolved thinking martial arts and the kind of life that the martial artist would live.
I've got a good feeling you're a martial artist yourself, Joy.
I wish I was.
Yeah,
No,
you are, I'm sure.
মই যোনখিনি actually কৰিব নোৱাৰিলো মই বহুত পঢ়িলো সময়ত it was because তেতিয়া আমি স্কুলত থাকোতে we started reading the novels of this guy called Eric Van Lasvader, and Eric Van Lasvader used to write about ninja, white ninja, Shiro ninja, black ninja, so that has been a great that was an initial learning into the Japanese psyche also. It was not only a learning about martial arts, it was a learning about what the Japanese psyche and what the Japanese kind of life is. I have been a huge fan of things evolving and things that can take that kind of a discipline. আৰু মানে then obviously a Bruce Lee movie চাইছো, so Bruce Lee has been as big as anybody. He's like Bruce Lee is like Jesus, you know. আৰু
Oh yes, that's
Bruce,
one way of
yeah, Bruce,
yeah.
yeah, and I মানে এতিয়াও Bruce Lee black and white কিছুমান audition tape আছে ইউটিউবত চালে, the amount of discipline that Bruce Lee had, it was
Right.
unbelievable, and the confidence that man had in the West. যেতিয়া হংকঙক বোলে আমেৰিকাত অডিশ্যন কৰিছিলে, that man was phenomenal. মানে আজিৰ দিনতো মই কোনো মুভি ষ্টাৰ বা মই কোনো পাৰ্চনেলিটি নেদেখো who can take on a Bruce Lee, you know, that kind of a range he had. আৰু
Yes,
তাৰপিছত
you know, Joy, yeah, carry on.
no please say মই মানে
Tarpisot.
you know
No, nothing. I'm enjoying your talk because for me, martial arts, you know, it's been a part and parcel of my growing up. And Bruce Lee was a legend, and he changed the whole scenario, like you said, and he brought in a kind of a cult culture that changed the thinking of one whole generation. It still continues now. There have been, you know, a lot of literature. Eric Van Lasbete is one of, but Ninja Stories, Shogun, etc. There have been a whole field of this literature on martial arts. But that most people take it as lowbrow, you know, that anything to do with literature that concentrates on martial art. It's like a James Bond movie, you know, it's just about killing people and swift cars and beautiful women. So it's not high literature. But
it's not high literature. As you said.
Martial arts has actually, no, it is supposed to be not high literature, but then Joy, I think all kinds of literature make up literature, you know.
No, see, I think I was getting around to the point
we
where
have to give due credibility to such kind of literature.
No, we have to. If they were not well made, that's a different thing. If they were not well made, that's a different thing. That's unfortunate for that sort of movie or book.
Right.
Kintu, you know, আজি actually গোটে martial arts কথা ওলোৱা কাৰণে এটা পিছত এটাকে ওলাই গৈছে. I wasn't thinking this ahead, but after Bruce Lee, then there was the whole kickboxing phenomenon of Van Damme that came into things. তাৰপিছত Muay Thai আহিলে, Thai box. আৰু আজি last year, Chuck Norris was that whole American brigade of martial arts, and then Thai kickboxing ahi gol. Aru tarpisot, you know, last year I was thinking, where does martial art go now? In terms of Hollywood, you have seen amazing stuff. Like Keanu Reeves took it to the next level, because Keanu Reeves is hugely invested in the whole Asian side of martial arts and the Japanese life. So Keanu Reeves took it in one way. Jackie Chan asile, that's Keanu Reeves. So you might know this. So last year on Netflix, there was this most amazing film made. It's based on Indonesian martial arts. So there are two martial arts that make up one discipline. Duta discipline hoya tha. Pencak Silat is the discipline of martial arts, and it's called The Night Comes for Us.
Okay.
It has got two of the most amazing actors coming out of Indonesia. And it is one of the most brilliant martial arts films that you will ever see. It's on Netflix. So, and it was prophetic, because
Joy, I'll take you up.
Please do. I think this conversation will continue beyond this the Sentinel page. But where is the next level of martial arts coming from? Then this movie dropped. I would love to share that one with you. But
I see.
I don't know. I think I met you and I became overexcited and I kind of moved on to martial arts. But what's life without a little meandering? You know?
I met you the last time in that ship when I was in the tourism department.
Mohabahu.
We had an evening for a very brief time in that the Mohabahu. And you were there was a session, and I was only for a short while. But your songs, I mean, everyone loves your songs, but I was there with you especially. I think you forgot that evening. That was about 6-7 years back when I last met you. Anyway, Joy.
I think it's time we meet again and discuss a whole lot of other things. And I just come to this one. I just come to this one big question. You know, যোনটো আপনার first novel খনৰ কথা, যোনটো, you know, even Ruskin Bond When for the readers, I just want to do this. Moi likhi thoisu kind of himankhini. Luck. Luck is the first novel that had synopsized version 2. Ruskin Bond, and I respect him because gote Masuri junto belt. Ruskin Bond and Victor Banerjee mili, they are keeping the green zone. So absorbing, spare, and often deeply moving. Wild tales with a difference. Hazarika's empathy with all creatures, great and small, comes through in these absorbing, spare, and deeply moving stories. Life in the forest. In the times of Baghjan and Ding Patkai, reading this story is kind of prophetic for me. Prophetic. Yeah, a bachelor with a pigeon, 3 schoolboys chance upon a leopard. What inspired you to take up wildlife in terms of storytelling?
Yeah, Joy, actually, that's not my first book. My first book is called A Bowstring Winter. That's based in Shillong.
No, yeah,
This is actually my third book. And
this was the first synopsis that was presented to me.
I see, it must have been.
Yeah.
Oh, the first synopsis. I thought you said the first book. Anyway,
I found that very interesting
so
about animals.
Yeah. Okay. Joy, basically, when interests come to a person, especially to a person who wants to be a writer or happens to be a writer, it comes without your deliberate beckoning. I mean, at least for a creative writer, hopefully, we are supposed to be creative writers. Mitra Baido, Amar Orupa. So what happens, your love for wildlife is not something calculated or deliberate. It comes involuntarily. So over the years, it's like music to you. I mean, if I were to ask you, Joy, why is it that you have chosen music instead of painting? You really you won't be able to probably answer. So in the same way, when I go for a pigeon or for a dog or for wildlife, it doesn't happen. It's not a one-day affair. It's a lifelong affair. And as you continue to write stories, they fall into a pattern, and you are yourself surprised that this is the area which has been of interest to you. So there are occasions when there is a deliberate attempt also to like certain things. Like I'm an aficionado of sports. Most of the similes and metaphors that are used, on hindsight now, correlate to sports somehow. অথনি অৰূপাই খুব ধুনীয়া এটা মেটাফৰিক এটা উদাহৰণ দিছিলে তেখেতে কৈছিলে যে মানে about the waves being pregnant a while back শেষৰ ফালে শুনিছিলো when I just came in. That is a fascinating thing to say because about water. Now মোৰ যিখিনি মেটাফৰ বা চিমিলি আমি যিখিনি ব্যৱহাৰ কৰোঁ সেইখিনি সাধাৰণতে relates to sports because I have a hankering for sports and it is a deliberate thing. Into wildlife for ক্ষেত্ৰত এই stories যিখিনি Ruskin Bond কৈছিলে সেইখিনি ক্ষেত্ৰত Joy, I can't really tell you, I mean, in a very structured way, why I happen to be interested. It's, I think, inside me. It's egoistic in the sense that I don't really know where the spark.
No. I think the artist is allowed to have an ego, and that is what pushes you to write. The creating and the dismantling of the ego. The creating and the dismantling of the ego is what we learn. Yeah. I think that is what it takes.
So I think
you are saying?
So that is how it is, Joy, about the. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can. Yes, I can.
No, nothing. It's just that about my love for example, there have been times when there's been a constant fight in my life regarding this being a vegetarian and a non-vegetarian.
Right.
It comes to that level of understanding with nature, with life. So this has been a battle in which I have often lost and often won. It has been a sort of a tussle. And hence this goes on, this moral understanding with nature, this understanding with a soul in an animal, the spirit in a bird, or the way a reptile behaves. Or, sometimes I ask myself, why should I be scared of a snake or a lizard or a crocodile? And then from all these thoughts develop stories, because like you said, we want to get rid of certain innovations or dismantle the ego, like you said, in whichever form or style we can. Joy.
Exactly. No, and I think people who have grown up with abundance of nature around them have grown up with empathy. You know, we don't need to necessarily cultivate and learn about that in school again. You know, I think that's the biggest gift growing up in places like where we have grown up. Amar Ohomot ami jeneke dangor hoisu. I think empathy towards the ecosystem is a natural trait, for good or bad. You know, and সেইটোৱে মানে I just find it prophetic that you know all this has come to be at the time when আকৌ বাগজান জ্বলি আছে ডিং পাটকাই কথা ওলাইছে and we are part of the people who are trying to you know talk things out and figure out what is the best way forward for man and progress. It has to be both ways. It cannot be one at the cost of the other because things have to move ahead.
It can never be. And
yeah, exactly. So coming to bowstring winter. It's a kind of I would say it's kind of it's a lot of violence. I say you know it's kind of got a different kind of violence.
The
How did you
martial
move?
arts part of it.
I you know murder. You know how did you move from one? It's very. You write about man and animal at one level and then man to man, and at that beleg dhona empathy, and these are closer areas. But durably nako. But what moved you to and shift the kind of template to also Shillong and you know kind of tenka dhona bostara. You know I just feel that kind of a thing.
Okay, Joy. You see, I think a writer has not only just a split personality, he or she has a multiple personality. At least I believe I have that. It may be a psychiatric deviation, but when you write, you have to enter that character, and by virtue of that, you become a different personality altogether. Now that is at the level of characters at a nano level, more or less. But when you go into a situational level, when your experiences are such, and most of the writings that I do is based on what the stylists call realism. I do not know to what extent I am being realistic enough, but then to fictionalize realism is a tough job. And mostly these are person and 50% is imagination. So I grew up in Shillong during a beautiful period of my life. I mean, those were beautiful days.
Yeah.
But you know, I used to be, for some reason, because I was mostly a spoon-fed chap. I went to I were a splendid neighborhood. Mitra Baido was, in our neighbor, for example, and we had a lot of books flowing, comics flowing. We had games and sports. So for some reason, as soon as I left school or class 10 or 11, I looked into the so-called underbelly of Shillong. The Kir, and then the drunks, the fighters who fought useless fights for nothing, the traders in coal who were into some sort of hello Joy, I think you have gone out of
no, I'm listening to you.
Speak and see me and hear me. So this was actually fascinated me. I met characters who were within good college. Half the time they were in restaurants having cheap rum or the local hooch. And from that, again, hopefully with whatever little imagination I have through this story, just the characters, which it took me some time to write, a long time in fact, and got about 11 rejection slips before finally they accepted it. Came out as a novel, The Bowstring Winter. So that's how it is, Joy.
I think that was lovely, and I have not read the book, but I would love to read both. The synopses have been pretty fascinating.
Joy,
But,
I can't see you. So
I know. There's a problem, I guess, on the other side. But thank you, Mr. Hazarika, so much for joining us here. I look forward to meeting you very soon. And I think it's on this panel we should meet again and discuss future books. I think we lost Mr. Hazarika, but thank you. Yeah, it's fascinating. Different people, different writings, different stories. And the episode we have the most, very interesting Kaushik Borwa. We've never met. Actually, whoever I'm speaking to today, I have not met anybody. But I do look forward. Kaushik Borwa naam bahut din ba khuni asu. But we all move in our own different kinds of worlds. I'm getting Kaushik onto. Hi, Kaushik.
Hi, Joy. How are you? Ki khobor?
Hi. Khub bhal. How are you?
Good. All okay. Safe and healthy. That's important.
Yeah. Okay. My just wait. Dhruvoda Royas. I'll just tell him. Just give me a minute. Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sure.
I think we've lost him. Yeah. Okay. That's good. Kaushik, Etia, where are you? Where are you in the world right now?
I'm based in Vietnam, in Hanoi now. So I was in Rome for a long time, for almost 10 years, and I was transferred to Vietnam last year. So I've been here the last year and a half.
You're in the heart of very different histories and different stories.
Absolutely.
তুমি জাগাবোৰ এনেকে বিচাৰি লোৱা নেকি যাতে নেক্সট নভেলখন লিখিব পাৰিবা বিকজ ভিয়েটনামত থাকি তুমি নিলিখিবা বুলি ক'ব নোৱাৰো you cannot go to Vietnam and not write a novel or a story, right?
Absolutely. So you know my secret, Hoy. That's how I get transferred so that I can write another novel. Absolutely.
Of course, man. I envy you. But I do the same thing, so I know the method.
Right. Yeah.
And I can employ. মই একেটা কামেই কৰোঁ বেলেগ বেলেগ জায়গাত গৈ কেতিয়াবা বেলেগ বেলেগ কথা ভাবো and but Romer পৰা তোমাৰ ভিয়েটনামলৈ it's a very big jump and I think মানে তোমাক অতি সোনকালে propel কৰি দিব into some new thought because it will be a shocking jump, you know.
That's true. But Vietnam is also I've really enjoyed Vietnam because it gives you a different perspective on the whole 20th century. You think of Vietnam, it's a country that has defeated every major colonizer in the 20th century, the French, the Americans, and they've done it with great resilience. So it's a view of world history. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I don't know if I'm saying this right, but what I believe is that American music has changed from the 60s and 70s. Yes. But I think the catalyst was Vietnam. You know,
yes, absolutely. Yes,
the music wouldn't have happened. Jimi Hendrix wouldn't have been doing all that he did.
Absolutely. In fact,
not have a Bob Dylan, you know.
Yes, absolutely. We wouldn't. But the thing is, this also comes to stories and who tells whose stories. You know, we all know of the war in the 60s as the Vietnam War. So when I first came here, I was here for a month and I was talking to a few colleagues. A couple of very senior colleagues whose brothers had fought in the war, and I asked them, I asked them about the Vietnam War, and they looked very befuddled, very confused. They said, "Which war?" And I repeated, "The Vietnam War." I thought, maybe I got something wrong, and they said, "Oh, you mean the American War?" You see that? Wow. Just naming the war, because they said it wasn't the Vietnam War. The Americans came and they started the war. So,
Kaushik, that's they gave you the title of your next book. So
yes, absolutely. You're right.
It would have been my next song, but because you got there first. I'll give that. Yeah?
No, you can take it. I can. Yeah, you can start with the song and then I'll expand on it.
I will definitely write a song to your book when you get the American War. I like it. You know, new beginnings. You know,
exactly.
So. Kaushik, I've heard about you for a long time. For a long time, meaning at least 5 years, and things have been written about you. And it also gives me great pleasure to host you here today on Sentinel. fascinating people all around. I mean, all of সময় সবার লগতে লৈছো, you know.
Hoy, I've been watching. Hoy.
But মানে আমাৰ কথাটো আছিলে also to celebrate amazing minds in one platform. কেতিয়াবা কথা কমপ্লিট হৈ যায়, but to আমাৰ এনেকুৱা সময় গৈছে অসমত বা পৃথিৱীখনত, we need to celebrate the natural brilliance that Assam has. You know,
Yes.
we need to celebrate, and I am a very, very proud Assamese at that. মানে though the notion more nationalism কথা কোৱা নাই, but I belong to a place where I really carry and I wear it really like a huge badge of honor.
Right.
Wherever I'm sure you do the same
Same
thing.
here. Absolutely.
Yeah, and এইখিনি সময়ত I think the idea is also to celebrate. কাৰণ সময়টো টান হৈছে আৰু সময়, you know, কিন্তু সময় গতিশীল। মিত্ৰসকলে দেখিছে the American war, looking forward to both the book and the song. So
Okay.
we have one reader and one listener ready for
Absolutely. At least one.
for our next joint venture.
Yes.
So, Kaushik, your books are, you have embraced different geographies and, you know, different continents.
Right.
Also. So, এতিয়া কথাটো হ'ল তোমাৰ Tibet, Windhorse is your book about Tibet.
Right.
There are people who want to come out of Tibet, and coming out of Tibet, they want to, because বাহিৰত গম পায় পৃথিৱীখন অলপ বেলেগ ধৰণৰ, you know, it's very tough going.
Right.
And then they want to get back to Tibet. Our মানুহ বাহিৰতে আছে, and they want to get back to Tibet because that is where their heart wants to go to. It's basically the search for every man's, I think this is the wrong word, but every man's Shangri-La. You know?
Yes. Yes. Totally.
I think that's just a case in point.
Right.
So, এতিয়া কথাটো হ'ল, you have set it in Delhi, Majnu Ka Tila. Delhi থকা সবেই বুজিব তাত কেনেকে মানুহে মমো খাব যায়, থুপকা খাব যায়. My introduction to Tibetan culture was through Majnu Ka Tila. So I don't know.
Same here.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is about a fairy tale home at the end, redemption. You know, more কথা হ'ল, do human beings want resolve, even though conditions and destiny lead them elsewhere? Do you feel that they want a resolve at the end?
Yes, they do. Mane, I actually stumbled upon, I mean, I can tell you how I stumbled upon this story, the story behind Windhorse. You know, first of all,
we can take him on the screen. He would also love
sure.
to listen.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. If his camera is working. Yeah. Ruboda, you can listen to Kaushik.
Hi, Rubada. Good to see you.
I think his
Hello, Kaushik. Hi.
Yeah. All right, Kaushik, carry on.
Hello, Kaushik.
In fact, I've spoken a lot about Windhorse. We had discussed Windhorse a lot, Rubada and me. So I know that he has a lot of insights on the book as well. I mean, I used to go to Dharamshala on holidays. I mean, at that time, I wasn't aware of the issue. My then girlfriend, now wife, we used to go there. And that, you know, wherever I go to the local bookstore just to see, you know, I feel like, of course, one should experience a culture or a place directly. You know, Kitapar books give you show you another layer or layers of sort of meaning or layers of narratives. So you get that through books. I'm a slow way of looking at the world if you read a book carefully. So my bookstore to Goisulu, and I met this the old bookstore owner. I mean, there was a guy behind the counter. He was talking to a lot of people, and he seemed to have read all the books in his store. You know, so I thought, let me ask him for some suggestions or advice. And then when the other customers had left, I went up to him and I said, "Can you recommend a book for me on the history of Tibet?" Said he recommended this book called "In the Land of Snows" by John Avedon, which is not very well known. But anyway, then I came back, but I remember it even 10, 12 years later. I went back to Delhi. I went over the book and I found it fascinating. Most fascinating, Palu, the story of the Tibetan resistance fighters. A lot of them were ex-monks. So a lot of monks, a lot of people who were Buddhist, who had embraced the principles of Dharma, including non-violence, but somehow in exile and as refugees, they took up arms to try and win back their sort of homeland or try and, you know, re-enter. So the next time I went to Tibet, somehow the story stayed with me. Sometimes you get hypnotized, you know, you hear something and it becomes like a chant or whatever, and it just stayed in my head. But I went back to Dharamshala, and then I went back to the bookstore, and the guy was sitting there, Aku. Then I told him, you recommended this book, and I really loved it. Tabsat, he asked me, I thought that was the end of the conversation. I loved it, and thanks a lot. But then he asked me, what did you like about the book? It's a bura manhu, he has this wiry beard, long beard, and he looked very stern. It's like a school principal asking you. So then I had to come up with an answer at once. And I said, what I liked is that there's a conflict in the heart of the characters that this book covers. This was non-fiction, so it was actual characters, real life characters. And they have to surpass this conflict to get what they want. Sometimes achievement is not only about a struggle, but about breaking a barrier that you're not comfortable with.
Right.
So I told him that, and he said, you wait here, don't leave. Okay, he waited for his other clients to leave. And then he shut down his bookstore. He got me a cup of tea, and he said, I was in the resistance movement. If you found that fascinating, you can talk to me about it. So that's how I found, and he had this resolve that even after decades, he didn't give up on this, on the original urge that he had. Then I spoke to him. I found his life story fascinating, and I fictionalized it. I fictionalized the story. I added lots of details. The historical points are real, but the main character's name is Lasang, and it's based on Lasang Sering, who is in Dharamshala. So that's how, so just the way in which I stumbled upon the story and the way he revealed it to me, it almost felt, I'm not a religious person, not at all, but it felt like a mystical experience. Hotat, you meet this person, and this person tells you, he gives you a book. The book has a story, and it's his story as well. And I felt, this is a sentiment that I have to capture. Anyway, let me stop there.
No, I think you made a point, because there are certain seminal points in life where there's a before and after.
Yes.
Where there's a before and after. You reach that point, and then you realize at that point your life has changed, because you've met somebody who's that, and but on that note, I had a very different experience. So there's this very famous English criminal called Charles Bronson, I think, who's been the longest in captivity. So and he was punished for no crime, Bronson. So and there's a huge film on him. He's the most wanted figurehead in the UK.
Right.
And he's been jailed for some 40 years, and they are never going to let him out. And he's written books, he's published art, and he's a huge artist. His art is selling for millions. And they consider him the most dangerous man alive. So I think I was in the south of Britain. I think west of Devon, South Devon we went, and there was a museum. There was a museum devoted to Bronson. Okay, so my story is a little different from your story, but nevertheless, I have a story, and you might want to write a book on this, but I'm selling you this one. So I walked into the museum. It said Bronson. I said, man, when a serial killer is the he has a museum devoted to him. I said, let me look. So it was some 25 pounds. I said, okay, 25 pounds for murder. I'll walk into this. and I see a man, and I'm walking into something, God knows ki hoy bostu. And that man is alive, that I'm listening to another thing. So, and the man said, you come in and you do know who the man is? I said, yeah, I've read about him. I've almost watched the movie. Amar Batman of the Bane hoisile. He's that guy.
Wow.
So in an incredible movie. Netflix UK as our India na I download kori saisilo. So he could say, so you know about Charles Bronson? I said, yeah. That man told me I'm his son. I lost my cool. That was as close to murder as I have been. But I don't have the right word to say how I was feeling here, because I don't have a good word to say how I was feeling here. But I said, man, your dad is one famous character, And so that was that. But anyway, we have come to those points where you realize, suddenly you are facing a truth which you never realized would be so close to you.
Absolutely.
And some truths fascinate you in a different way. Of more, my my thing was this man in prison has transformed himself into something else.
Absolutely.
It's the absolute power of human mind.
Yes.
And likewise with the Buddhist monk, resistance soldier that you met at Dharamsala. In fact, that famous painting as a Buddhist Manu Bohi ase, monk, he's in protest and they have set him on fire.
Yes.
You know, one of the most famous portraits alive where the Buddhist monk is on fire. And I have not gone into deep research on that painting, but I'm bringing this up because you're here. And at that point, the only part that was left unburned was the heart.
Well, yeah.
All of it was burned. The part that remained unburned was the heart. So I think nothing kills the heart, Kaushik, actually. You know, we
absolutely.
We think it is too fragile for what it is, but we don't give it due credit. But,
absolutely.
Years of oppression couldn't burn the heart of a Buddhist Tibetan monk.
Yeah.
And,
but that was, I think that painting was a Vietnamese Buddhist monk, though, if I remember correctly. Vietnam, it was a Protestant, exactly.
Not Tibetan, sorry. But Buddhism thing kind of took me there.
Yes.
And so, Kaushik, I think you should return safe from Vietnam. We want you safely back in one piece because we'll be wanting to read what you have henceforth.
Vietnam is one of the safest places. I mean, you know, it's a country that has endured a lot, but it has come out really triumphant. It's one of the safest, most stable.
I think you have watched
countries.
I think you have watched good Vietnamese movies in the recent past.
Yes, I have, and it's an extremely safe and. In fact, you should visit. I mean, I've told Drupada also, you should come and visit. You'll love the country and the whole of.
Amit and Kobila will discuss the great.
You never know, Kaushik. I'm just.
Right, absolutely. No, you're always welcome. Absolutely.
So we have actually 3 books and 1 song. You know.
Right. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So actually, Tumar book, the book that you have, Kaushik, is hugely layered with a lot that goes in. This conversation is also for people who want to meet you and have not read the book. And I'm keeping it a little simple, you know.
Yes, absolutely.
If you start getting into the book, you know, in these times, and that definitely merits a different conversation. Can you make that? For people who have not read the book, that will take a time, you know. But I really wanted people that know me and people in Assam to kind of see this amazing writer of whom I had heard for a while, and you know, I've had the good fortune to meet today.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm a huge fan of your work. I've seen your work over the years.
Thank you, man. So there's the other book. And that's the short question to the other book is No Direction Rome.
Yeah.
You know, that's a completely different takeoff from where, you know, Wild Horse is. It's completely the opposite. It's like where this guy wants to go nowhere. For Wild Horse, all they want to do is get to Tibet, you know. Tibet, they want to get to Tibet. And this man wants to go nowhere. He sounds like the completely confused millennials that are, you know, all around, you know.
Yeah.
More prothom prashnoto hol etu was so did this precede Windhorse, that you got out of Windhorse to write something about somebody who is going nowhere? Was it that kind of involuntary action reaction? You know, would you like to answer that? Like, did that precede because of that thought?
Sure. I think this No Direction Rome came from two motives. One is I had spent 5-6 years doing a lot of work on Windhorse and on a very focused, all the characters had very focused sort of motives. My mind needed a break or needed to think of something. I don't know if that happens to you with the creative process.
Of course it does. How do you think I guessed your method?
Yeah, exactly. So my mind wanted something completely different, just to break out of that mold. Otherwise, you get sucked into a mold. And so I wanted to address something completely different. And I thought the confused millennial identity is I mean, anyone can be confused, but this.
I caught you, Kaushik. You have to.
Right, absolutely. Right.
See you next time. And Vietnamese beer when we all get there.
Yes.
So, this world is changing, and that is what your main guy in No Direction Rope is.
Yes.
You know, somewhere we have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Finally, we have nowhere to go with the intermingling of geographies, cultures, races, and genes. We are everywhere, and we are nowhere. We have nowhere to go. You know.
Yes.
I mean, I think a couple of months back, I had noticed this kind of visual representation. Scientists were of this kind of this person, like 20 years henceforth. This person who is a mixed race. Part of him is like Asiatic Chinese. Part of it is like black. Part of him is Hispanic, white. It's a mixed race. It was like a 3D prototype of a person. Aru, then, I forgot what was written around that whole, animation, whatever. Then finally, we became one race.
Yeah.
When
I hope so.
See, that's the dichotomy of the thing. I don't know whether that's a good place or a bad place. Finally, when we lose our identity and we lost everything that we came from and everything that made us what we are, that there is singularity. Manu, people became one.
Right.
So, Kumar, do we lose? I mean, sob herabo lagibo neki ami ek hobole rahone.
So, I don't. মোৰ মতে identity. It's a double-edged sword. As we know, it will take us a whole day to discuss identity politics in Assam. But identity it gives you solace. It gives you a sense of community, of who you are, of self. Kintu on the other hand, you form your identity only by deciding who you will exclude. We've been debating this for 50 years now.
Kaushik, I'll just take 1 minute, readjust my camera. Just
okay.
1 minute.
Sure. So how are you, Trubhoda? All okay?
Oh, Kaushik, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh yes, same here. So Amar, at least, but at least you and I are still here.
Yes. মই তোমাক চাই থাকোতে মনত পৰিছে আমাৰ তোমাৰ কিতাপৰ লঞ্চখন আমি যে কৰিছিলো নেটফ্লি হাতত নেটফ্লি কৰিছিলো নহয়
হয় নেটফ্লি হাউছত
lovely afternoon
absolutely no I hope আহিব পাও জলদি
কথা yes and ahi jaba Kaushik and waiting for the next book
yes thank you
everyone that obviously এটা সকলোৱে শুনি আছে that I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm a fan of yours.
Oh, thank you. Same here.
I Tell the Wind too.
yeah, absolutely.
I think Rakhi has written a lovely piece on you. So proud of you.
Yes.
Your campus, your corpus is amazing. From myths to urban boredom
to war history. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I just saw the comment. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Rakhi Kalita Morale likhe, so proud of you.
You're based. How long have you? Joy is back on the screen.
Oh, he's back now. Yeah.
So Kaushik, coming back to, do we have to lose everything to become that final peaceful, whatever you should? I mean, sob herabo lagibo neki.
Oh, the point. Moi ji koislo je to have something distinctive. When you have something distinctive, you gain something and you lose as well. Gain ami ki koro? From all of us, we have strong identities as Ohomia, which means you gain a sense of self, of community. Jote jao eta sense thake of who you are and where you come from. But don't we also build this community by deciding who we exclude from the community? That is always a difficult question. Also, if communities will change hoy thake. Ohomia community we have had so many communities that have intermingled in Assam. Bongali hog, Marwari hog, even the immigrant community from Bangladesh, bahut bochor agor prai aise aru ase, who decides who will become part of this new community or not. As you know, Assamia language is also changing. Amar to eta heri hoye goise, mane Dhruvoda would know better than me, in fact, the history. But so who decides what is precious, and what do we have to lose? What do we have to gain? I think in losing we'll gain something. I don't think anything is a loss. We may lose Assamese as it is now, but it will become something new, and it will become a new form of language. I'm sure Amar jodi Koka Aita jodi amake eta shuna pai speaking Assamese, from any one of our grandparents, they'll be like, these guys have lost, their identity. Amar kothai kobo. So we have also gained something else probably. Amar by losing Amar total familiarity with Assamese and expertise. I'm to lose korisu kisumane.
Juntu koi that actually nothing dies. It just comes back in another form.
Absolutely. So of course, what we would not want is everyone uniform and without any difference. That would be boring, and that would lead to some kind of almost mental slavery.
I think what you hint is basically humans without borders, right? I think that is where.
Yeah, and maybe humans and communities more comfortable with the idea of change and how identities may evolve and may break down, but it will form something new if these identities break down.
I think that's brilliant, Kaushik. I think
Aro going to say the same thing what Joy had said, echoing your thoughts. But at the same time, we have a sizable section, Kaushik, who oppose change. We are not, this is an old story about humans not being happy with change at all. And it takes a lot of enlightenment, I think, if that is good at all, to go in for change. And change will come only when you face new situations. Being with the, it's a very double-edged situation, I think.
Yes.
That word change. Well, I don't know. I'm not very good at thinking on screen, but then it's good for thought for myself too.
Absolutely.
I think any change will have its challenges, and it is through these challenges, I think, where something new is born again. Something new comes into life. It's birth. It's birth and rebirth, and and the passing. So nobody has ever mentioned birth as being less painful.
Right.
But it is what it is. It is what it takes to change.
Yeah.
And but I think the brightest spark here, I think, Kaushik, I don't know how to say this, but it's so brilliant seeing and it's so great seeing amazing minds like you coming out of Assam. And I would, as long as we have people, these are dark times, but as long as we have people like Dhruvoda, we have people like you, Sangeeta Ba, who are all over the globe, but the heartland is Assam. I think that's what really cuts it for people like us.
Thank you.
We don't carry it on our geographies. We carry it in our heart what the land is, and that is most important.
Yeah.
You could be anywhere, you could write about anything, but you in your heart you know what it is. And that is the true essence of where you come from.
Yes.
And I think there's lots more to talk, but I think the only thing we don't have is time. We have everything else.
Absolutely.
But Kaushik, lovely getting you here. Dhruvoda, lovely having us with her again.
Thank you so much.
And I will touch base with you very soon. I would, I will have to go to the last person on the panel, Sangeeta Ba Royase. So
thank you so much.
You can hang in the waiting space and watch this also, because she's also as amazing.
Absolutely.
I think Amazonian warrior. I think it was Sangeeta Ba Pisharati Olapur. Dhruvoda, thank you. I'll come to you soon. Kaushik,
thank you so much. Same here. And hope to see you sometime.
We'll connect soon. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Bye.
Okay. Hello.
Hi.
Good evening, Sangeeta Ba.
Good evening. Very good evening. And before you start, I must just say, What a lovely conversation. And I just hope I'll be able to add something interesting and meaningful to this. But I have gained so much today from listening to these voices. And that's what I feel, platforms like these are so important. Thank you, Joy. Thank you.
Thank you. I think মানে অসমৰ বহুত মানুহে নাজানে বুলিয়ে ক'ম, but I think you are that other magic weapon that Assam will someday have. That one magic arrow যে আমি এখন ৰামায়ণ চাওঁতে এটা ব্ৰহ্মাস্ত্ৰ বা পশুপতাস্ত্ৰ যে উলিয়াই দিয়ে, I think I think we are on good. But anyway, thank you for joining us, Bhagirava, and thank you for hanging around. All of Power to be Rola. And we'll come straight to the, thank you. I'm so glad you did. And your book, Assam, the Accord, the Discord, it observes Assam through partition, through Bangladesh, through the Bangladesh war, through the agitation, Bhakha Andolan, gutekini bostu ase, Alpha, ASU, militancy, BJP victory log ase. What's your search? Again, and we've had conversations around this. What's your search? Is it history, or is it for identity?
See, basically, I'm a journalist. Okay, so my method of inquiry is journalistic. So when I thought of writing this book, I might just explain a little bit why I thought of writing this book. Because at that time, I was reporting. And when this whole NRC update process was happening, and every time I have to go back to what happened, in the past. And then I was looking for a book, of course, in English, that where do I get everything, where there's a bit of history, everything that I need, or people like me would like to read.
Exactly. Tumi koa kotha kini aje Mrinaldai কৈ আছিলে, মানে he started it, you're ending it.
Yeah, I heard him. I heard him. Yeah, he said, something like that. He's a little angry with the seniors. I'm not angry. I'm just a little, but it never got lost, this whole thought that we needed something. So, সেই বস্তুটোৰ পৰা মই আহিলো যে এখন কিতাপ যদি নাই তেতিয়াহলে মই লিখিব পাৰো নেকি? So, and মই যদি লিখো তেতিয়াহলে কেনেকে লিখিম? So, obviously, journalism is my tool, so I use that. And so my book is not, because I'm not a historian, so I'm not a trained historian. So historian or kind of lekha nai, but my academics or kind of lekha nai, my manuhor kind of lekha. Because my commitment is to the people as a journalist. So that is what I wanted to do. And so everything, the whole thing, the kernel of it actually was this whole, the interest in, the need within me, that we need something. So that's where I started.
And let me say, it's been quite a start.
Quite a start. Yeah, if you just give me a little, with your permission, I just want to highlight, Mrinalda eta bor kotha kole ei je Nehru's kotha to, he said he didn't say it. I elaborate it in my book. He did mention, but the whole context was very different. I would like to read just 2 lines exactly, because তেওঁ যেতিয়া ক'লে যে এইটো অসমত তেওঁ নেপালে বস্তুটো, আৰু I found it at the National Nehru Memorial Library, the exact speech. Okay. So I just want to read out because it's important,
Yeah. Please,
yeah. So the interesting thing is that the title of the speech was actually called A Pledge to Victory. Okay. And Nehru referred to the people of both Assam and Nepal, quite a few times in pledging support. So these are exact quotes of the sentence. We shall not accept any term that the enemy may offer, because he may think that we are a little frightened by some setbacks. I want to make that clear to all of you, and more specifically to our countrymen in Assam, to whom our heart goes out at this moment. So a line to uthai palai, kune uthale, the socialists and also the Jansangh people who were opposed to Nehru's forward policy toward China. And so that is what was used. And later on, of course, it was utilized politically. So I just wanted to, for people to know that he mentioned, but in a very different context.
Exactly. And through the ages, all of out of context,
Yes. And particularly when it is not available. Our tarot available nohor eta kahini ase kintu. Mur data he samoyot National Herald or kana reporting korisile. So I got to know from him. Prothom jetu speech disile, his speech to Ohomiyale translate hoisile. Aru journalist burok hator copy di dia hoisile. কিন্তু যেতিয়া এই স্পিচটো কলে তেতিয়ালৈ অলৰেডি চাইনিজ আহি নেপাপালেহি আৰু তেতিয়া ট্ৰান্সলেট কৰিব নোৱাৰিলে সময় নাপালে সেই কাৰণে এই কপিবোৰ অসমত নাই so that is a very important point I want to highlight.
I think the endeavors that both you and Mrinalda have taken will also kind of should bring the correct history back. That is, I think,
Mrinalda also right, that his whole need also came. His entire need came from this lack of something to fall back.
Exactly. Aru, Sangita ba main kotha to hol. This is it's not only that only two people have felt the need. We feel the need too.
Yeah.
Ami jonkita okhon ghori dangor hoisu. Where do we go back to?
আৰু এটা কথা আমি এটা পাৰ্টিশনৰ যেতিয়া অল ইণ্ডিয়াৰ নেৰেটিভটোত অসমক সোমোৱা নহয় কিন্তু আমাৰ আজিলৈকে যিখিনি ইছ্যুজ আছে পাৰ্টিশন ৰিলেটেড ইছ্যু সেই কথাটো ময়ো পঢ়োতে কিন্তু বহুত ভাবিছিলো যে এইবোৰ পাৰ্টিশন ইজ এ নৰ্থ ইণ্ডিয়ান ইছ্যু it never affected South India enough because we don't study our history. So that is something I wanted to bring to the forefront. And the other thing I wanted to bring was, again, another very important narrative in the national perspective, emergency. Amar gutte jekini Ahom Andolon, ebur ekdom emergency, springing out of emergency. So সেই বস্তুটো যেতিয়া মই প্ৰথমে অসমত সুধো যে emergency কি effect আছিলে তেতিয়া মানে কয় যে emergency একো effect নাছিলে সব কংগ্ৰেছ জিকিছিলে ইয়াত কিন্তু exactly what happened after that? The first non-Congress government came in Gulab Borbora Sarkar অসমত আহিলে আৰু সেই সময়ত ডাঙৰ সবতকে দুজন ডাঙৰ মানে ইন্দিৰা গান্ধীৰ লগত থকা মানুহ অল ইণ্ডিয়া কংগ্ৰেছৰ প্ৰেসিডেন্ট আছিল অসমীয়া আৰু প্ৰেসিডেন্ট অফ ইণ্ডিয়া জনে সাইন কৰিছিল তেওঁ অসমৰ সো সেই বস্তুটো মানে আমি কেনেকে এৰি দিম মানে যে আমি সেই পার্সপেক্টিভটো নকৰো আৰু তাৰপৰি আৰু ডাঙৰ কথা ব্ৰিটিছৰ দিনত এতিয়া যেটো বেংগলত যেতিয়া মানে ফেমিন হৈছিল এই ফেমিনটোৰ হিষ্ট্ৰিটোত আমাৰ কথা নাই কিন্তু ফেমিনটোৱে বহুত মাইগ্ৰেন্ট আমাৰ অসমলৈ আনিছিলে ব্ৰিটিছ ইণ্ডিয়াত আৰু কিয় বহুত ধৰণৰ মানুহ আহিছিলে সেই সময়ত আহিব লগা হৈছিলে ফিউডালিজম যেটো এক্সপ্লয়টেটিভ ইমান সিস্টেম বেংগলত তাৰ কাৰণেও মানুহ আহিছিলে কিন্তু সেই কাহিনীবোৰ আমাৰ যেন ৰাস্তাত পৰি যায় নাহে আমি সেই নেৰেটিভটোত নাই আৰু তাৰ পিছত যে ইণ্ডিগো যেটা ফেইল কৰিলে as the great failure of the cash crop Indigo. We only talk about Bengal. We don't talk about Assam. So all these things I wanted to bring in.
Ki hobo jana, what is happening also? In a twisted way, what has happened? It a Black Lives Matter bili joto movement ambo hoise. Etia manue koise je Robert Cliver statue bhangibo lage. British manue koise. Junbur British manu june jane they have started with a Robert Clive. They have quoted him as they say that he was a psychopath. Aru India he had expansionist designs in India. He set about the East India Company, but it was not that he was loved back home. It a history khulise. Aru eta take aru eta last year Churchillor por cinema banaise. Kintu Churchill was a mass murderer. Our Bengal famine was the only artificially engineered famine in the world. Everything else was a natural famine. This was artificially engineered hoy gol na gute bostu khwa bostu kini eta loi gol. So I think মানে এটা সময় থাকে যেটা অন্ধকার থাকে আৰু এটা সময় থাকে যেটা তোমালোকৰ নিচিনা মানুহৰ কথাবোৰ মানে জ্বলন্তভাৱে ওলাই আহে I think every generation মানে সব I think few of the generations before us were a little quiet. I think they'll get a little loud now. They will want to know. Like Minalda কথা কৈছে
মই এটা কথা কিন্তু এডব বিচাৰিছো দে আমি যে কিয় মনে মনে থাকো এই মনে মনে থকাটোৰ কিন্তু এটা ডাঙৰ ৰিলেশন কনফ্লিক্টৰ লগত আছে যে we are a conflict zone. We have been a conflict zone for a long time. So that has some kind of effect on the people too. মই যেতিয়া অসমৰ কথা সুধিবলৈ যাওঁ মানুহখিনিক এই কিতাপখনৰ ওপৰত, সেইটো বহুত ধৰণে, আৰু এটা কথা মানে, এই বহুত ধৰণে মানুহে মানে কয় এইটোতো চবেই জানে এনেকে বুলি কয়, কিন্তু নহয়, চবেই জনাটো কেতিয়া হৈছিলে, কি হৈছিলে, কোন আছিলে তাত, কি কৈছিলে, এইখিনি যেতিয়া সুধো, মই এতিয়া ভাবিব লাগিব। তাৰমানে সেই কথাটো মই তেতিয়া আই ৱান্টেড টু লোকেট ইট, যে আমাৰ কালচাৰত এই বস্তুটো কিয়, তেতিয়া মই চালো যে আমাৰ আচলতে কালচাৰটো ডকুমেন্টেশনটো বহুত অৰেল, অৰেল ডকুমেন্টেশন। আমাৰ মনে মানুহৰ লগতেই গুচি যায়। যদি আহোমে বুৰঞ্জী নেলেখিলেহেঁতেন, আমাৰ চাগে এইবোৰ কথা নোলালেইহেঁতেন। So that is something I want to highlight: conflict and also this culture of telling stories orally, you know.
No, I think you're very right when you said very oral and orally passed down. Muru eta bostu lage tamane amar India and Assam in general, we don't look at history because also we are a nascent nation. Iman kostor majedi hoise, mane history has been the lowest on the ranks of what you want to know. It's, you know, manor khabole belibole jot problem hoy ase, mane hodai banbani ahile eta problem or pisot hitu problem. Buronji loi amar manubur mane ekebare byosto nohole, কিন্তু নহলে আমাৰে প্ৰব্লেম সেইটো আই থিংক। আৰু লাষ্ট 50 বছৰ যোনখিনি কাম তোমালোকে এতিয়া উলিয়াইছা তুমি আৰু মৃণাল দাই, আই থিংক মানে দ্য ফিউচাৰ জেনেৰেশ্যনছ উইল হেভ এ লট টু থেংক ইউ। আৰু মই এটা কথা জানো, দ্য ব্ৰিলিয়েণ্ট বুকছ দেট ইউ হেভ, মানে অসমৰ বেছিভাগ মানুহে নাজানে তোমালোকৰ কিতাপৰ কথা, কিন্তু মই বহুত সভাত কওঁ আৰু যে এই দুখন কিতাপ পঢ়িব লাগিব টু আণ্ডাৰষ্টেণ্ড দ্য লাষ্ট 70 years অফ হোৱাট আছাম হেজ গন থ্ৰু। ইউ ন, কালি আমাৰ বেংগালোৰত থকা ল'ৰা ছোৱালী, আমেৰিকাত থকা ল'ৰা ছোৱালী কি পঢ়িব নহ'লে? These are the two books which are the only windows we have in a broad sense of the term.
অসমীয়াত কিছু কিতাপ আছে, কিন্তু ইংৰাজীটো এটা ডাঙৰ ভাষা আৰু যাক বহুত মানুহে কয়। আজিকালি অসমীয়া ল'ৰা ছোৱালীও ইংৰাজীটো পঢ়িব বিচাৰে। চ' সেইটো, আৰু যদি আমি এটা ভাষাত নেলিখো যি অন্য মানুহে বুজি নাপায় outside of the state, so we will be actually losing, you know. I just want to quickly mention, you know, আমাৰ বীৰেন্দ্ৰ কুমাৰ ভট্টাচাৰ্যৰ এতিয়া যিখন তোমাৰ মানে কিতাপ ইয়াৰুংগমখন, মই ভাবো যে ইয়াৰুংগমখন মানে সাউথ এছিয়াৰ ভিতৰতে এখন ডাঙৰ ভেৰি ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট বুক এবাউট ৱৰ্ল্ড ৱাৰ, কিন্তু সেই কিতাপখনৰ আমাৰ উইকিপিডিয়াত পেজ এখনো নাই। So we don't even know.
Exactly. হয়, সেইটো হয়। আৰু সেইকাৰণে আই থিংক এইবোৰ কামৰ সময় এটা চাৰ্কেল এটা আহিছে when people will start realizing. মৃণাল দাই কৈছে যে চাইনাৰ যোনটো এইটো ষ্টৰিটো আমাৰ 1962 আৰু 2-3 সপ্তাহ পিছত মানুহে গম পাই যাব তাৰমানে ষ্টৰিটো কি আছে। You know, he's made this statement today and left. মানুহজনৰ অলপ খঙো আছে, অলপ মানে ফ্ৰাষ্ট্ৰেশ্যনো আছে। কৈছে 2 সপ্তাহ গম পাই যাব। মানে নেহৰুৱে কি কৈছিলে নকৈছিলে 2 সপ্তাহ ওলাব বোলে কথাটো, he left it at that. কিন্তু সেয়া, you are also the custodians of what we have in terms of history and what will be passed down. So তোমালোকৰ ওপৰতো এটা ডাঙৰ হেৰি আছে, how you choose to dig it out. So anyway, you have a lot of heavy hitting to do. That will happen.
No, my whole thing is that we tell stories. I mean, like my entire point is that maybe after some time I might have to update my first book, because there are more information, there is extra knowledge. And why I highlight the oral culture, because when there is a community, not just to Assam, entire Northeast, our oral traditions are very strong, but mouth to mouth, okay, mane door to door, lekhoni ekho nai. So তেতিয়াহ'লে নতুন ডিস্কভাৰী হৈয়ে থাকিব তাৰ মানে। So নতুনত্ব বহুত বস্তুবোৰত আহিবই।
আৰু এটা কথা মই ভাবো সংগীতা বা, মানে তুমি যোনটো কৈছা অসমীয়া কিতাপ আছে, ইংলিছ কিতাপ আছে, চ' কিতাপখন হ'ল কণ্টেণ্ট, বাট ষ্টৰি টেলিংটো কেনেকুৱা হৈছে তাৰমানে? হাউ ইজ দ্য ৰাইটিং? জাষ্ট বিকজ এতিয়া মই অসমীয়া ইংলিছ দুটাই পঢ়িব যদি মই ভাল পাওঁ, কিন্তু I'll gravitate towards the better writer. But fictionalize korbo koa nai. I'm not asking you to fictionalize. But who has got the better writing presentation skills? For somebody who knows both the languages. That is also very important to get next generation in. One has to be well versed. Probably people will know more about 50 years of Assam from your books and Mrinalda's book than they would have learned at Guwahati University. You know what I mean? And I'm not making an exact comparison here. Who's writing it? And in what way? Without distorting. I want to keep this very simple, man. I don't want to make this political. But anyway, coming to the next point, you work in Delhi, tumi beleg jagat kam kora, and that book, tremendous research. Moi to tumak ebar khudude tumi photoke koila 4-5 mahote tumi likhi dila boli. That is the kotha to hol tumak kiman din lagile, and I bring this out because I want people elsewhere in the world, our Assamia manu jonki ase, to feel and empathize for what their land is. But tell us quickly, kiman din lagile bosu, or was this already sitting in you for 20 years?
Exactly, because see, I mentioned in the book also, why did I have to come to Delhi? I never wanted to leave Assam. And আমি যেতিয়া early 90s ওলাই আহো, তেতিয়া অসমৰ অৱস্থা খুব বেয়া. Assam couldn't give us anything. And I feel privileged that my family could actually send me away, but there were so many who just couldn't, So, and then I thought, so there's always that thing on my shoulders that if I have come out, I'll have to give something. That has never gone away from my mind. So that has been there, and I have been. I've always kept Assam on the radar. What's been happening. And then when I started reporting full time on the political stories and all, then that's when I felt that there is nothing, and I can't just say that I knew this. I can't say that. So I'll have to quote somebody. So that is when the whole thing started. So in a way, I knew a lot of things that were there in my mind. So that really helped me to save time. And the other thing is that our libraries are pretty good. Nehru Memorial Library has got solid stuff on Assam. Very good collection. But the only thing is that সেইবোৰ কিতাপ মানে ইউজ নহয়, আৰু সেইকাৰণে মানে লাইব্ৰেৰীত নথয়, লাইব্ৰেৰী গুডাউনত থয়। চ' সেইকাৰণে গুডাউনত যেতিয়া মোক লৈ গুচি গ'ল, তেতিয়া গুডাউনত মই ৰাতিপুৱা সোমাই গধূলি ওলাই আহো, আৰু তাত কোনো অন্য মানুহ নাই, নিগনি কেইটামান ঘূৰি ফুৰে, আৰু মাজে মাজে তাহাঁতৰ মানুহ আহি পেলাই চাই থাকে, বোলে আপ ঠিক হে, সব ঠিক হে। So that is what, So I was surrounded by this mustiness of this old precious books that I could really pluck stuff from. So which is what I did. And the other thing is that, I'm very grateful to my organization, which gave me 3 months leave to write the book and do a bit of research together. So that is something I am very happy about and grateful to. But problem to be, I'm a writer, fiction writer or non-fiction writer, you have to do a day job. Okay, so because it's not enough. Yeah. So then I had to really do the business of my everyday life never changed. So I had to really do stuff during the daytime. Or rati 2-3 bajalike bohi likhu. So that is what happened. And around by about 3-4 months,
You're putting this down very simply. I hope future writers understand the weight of this. Thank you. That's why we all love you. আৰু আমি সেখান কথা পাতি আছিলো, মানে অসমখনত বহুত চেঞ্জ আহিলে, আৰু বহুত চেঞ্জ আমি দেখিলো, তোমালোকেও দেখিছা। কোনবোৰ বস্তু তুমি চেঞ্জ নোহোৱাটো বিচাৰিছা? That is my last question to you. What do you wish doesn't change? What do you wish doesn't change?
Okay. What I don't, like for me, when we grew up, আমি বহুতো আমাৰ যেনেকৈ ভূপেন হাজৰিকাৰ গানবোৰ আমি শুনি ডাঙৰ হৈছো, ৰাভাৰ গান শুনি ডাঙৰ হৈছো, জ্যোতি সংগীত গাইছিলো স্কুলত। এই তেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ বহুত বস্তু আমি আমাৰ মানে একদম মানে as you say, it is in our veins, So, and when you really go back and listen to them, that's when you realize who you are. You asked me this question about identity, That is when I felt that that's my identity. Okay. And obviously politics has been played over this and for a long time. And we have seen what has happened to us because of that. Ajita lockdown or samoyte Kerala nisina jaga, puru jaga. Tat 4 lakh or 5 lakh manu Ohomor bonua. We used to attract migrants, laborers, and we have become a labor producing state. What has gone wrong? Okay, so that also is something we need to all think about and try and do some corrections if possible. So that is what I felt, that এইখিনি মানুহৰ যিটো আমাক ইডিঅলজি শিকাই থৈ গ'ল, আমাৰ অসমীয়াত্বটো মানে ৰিলিজিয়নতকে ওপৰত এটা বেলেগ, যিটো আমাৰ অৰূপা বাইদেৱে কৈ গ'ল, আৰু মই তাৰ আগত বেছি ক'ব নালাগে, যিটো আমাৰ কৌশিকে ক'লে এতিয়া। So এই কথাখিনি মানে মই সেইকাৰণে ভাবো যে এই কথাবোৰ যদি আমাৰ মানুহৰ মাজত নৰ্মেল কমন মানুহে বুজি পোৱা যায়, আৰু এইটোতো সংকটৰ সময়, তাত মানে বিভিন্ন ধৰণে টানিবলৈ ধৰিছে। এতিয়া মই মোৰ কিতাপত লিখিছো যে অসমীয়া সমাজ এতিয়া থিয় হৈ আছে এটা ক্ৰছ ৰোডত, যে মই অসমীয়া হৈ থাকিম নে মই এতিয়া হিন্দু হম। এতিয়া হিন্দু হলে কিন্তু মোৰ অসমীয়া যিখিনি মুছলমান খ্ৰীষ্টিয়ান বন্ধু তেওঁলোকক এৰিব লাগিব, তাৰ কাৰণে মই ৰেডি নহয়।
মই লাষ্ট কুৱেশ্যন বুলি কৈছিলো, মই আচলতে আৰু এটা কুৱেশ্যন লাষ্ট সৰু এটা বস্তু আহিলে, আৰু এতিয়া মানে এতিয়া গধূলি হ'ল, আৰু তুমি গধূলি শব্দটো বোলে খুব ভাল পোৱা। গধূলি শব্দটো তুমি কিয় ভাল পোৱা? গধূলিটো কিয় ভাল পোৱা তুমি?
ঘৰলৈ মনত
অসমত বহি থকা অসমত থকা মানুহখিনিৰ কাৰণে কোৱা গধূলিটো কিয় ভাল পোৱা?
গধূলিটো আমাৰ গধূলিটো এটা ডাঙৰ বস্তু, মানে প্ৰিপাৰেচন ফৰ দ্য নাইট, মানে দিনটো শেষ হ'ল। এতিয়া গাঁৱত যেতিয়া আমি গধূলিটো কিয় দেখো, কেনেকে গৰুবোৰ মানে টিলিঙা বজাই বজাই ঘৰৰ ভিতৰলৈ মানে আনি লৈ আহে নিজৰ ঘৰলৈ, and at the backdrop is the setting sun, and then আমি এতিয়া সৰুতে যেতিয়া তুমিও এবাৰ মোক কৈছিলা, আমি যে প্ৰাৰ্থনা কৰো বা বিভিন্ন এটা লাইট দিয়া এটা জ্বলাও, এই বস্তুটো চাকি এটা জ্বলাও, এই বস্তুবোৰ মানে মই এতিয়া দেখিছো মানে সেইটো একদম তোমাক মানে প্ৰিপেয়াৰ কৰে যে কাইলৈ এটা নতুন দিন দেই, মানে there is new hope, and when we have seen conflict, we have seen মোৰ ঘৰৰ ওচৰতে মানে এটা ডাঙৰ বাংলো, এৰি থোৱা বাংলোত, তাত মানে it was a constant or kind of a concentration camp, the army, and মানুহৰ চিঞৰ সেই সময়ত আমি সেইবোৰ দেখিছিলো। আৰু ঘৰৰ মুখতে তোমাক মানে, মই গোলাঘাটৰ ছোৱালী, সৰুকে আমি মানে সৰু বজাৰ এখন, আমি গাড়ী এখন লৈ যদি বজাৰ এখনলৈ যাওঁ, ঘূৰি আহোঁতে আমাৰ মায়ে সেইখিনিতে গাড়ী আৰু ড্ৰাইভাৰ আৰু গাড়ী এৰি দিয়ে, বস্তুখিনি এটা এটাকে তন্নকে চাব, তাৰপিছতে ঘৰলৈ আহিবলৈ দিব, তো মা ৰখি নাথাকে, খোজকাঢ়ি আহে। কিন্তু আমি সেইবোৰ বস্তু দেখিছিলো। তো সেইকাৰণে মই মানে এতিয়া ভাবো যে সেই সময়, সেইটো গধূলিৰ সময় হা, মানে গধূলিয়ে ইমান ভাল বস্তুখিনি আনে, গধূলিয়ে তিতাও লগাই দিছিলে। সেইকাৰণে গধূলি যেতিয়া মানে মই দূৰৰ পৰা দিল্লীৰ পৰা চাওঁ, বা যেতিয়া মই I travel abroad, I always look out to the window and think of Assam.
সংগীতা, আমি অতি সোনকালে আৰু এটা গধূলিত লগ পাম।
নিশ্চয়।
I would love to meet you on another Godhuli over these networks. But thank you so much for coming. It's a pleasure and an honor.
Thank you for inviting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, that being that, lovely having such amazing people. Adile, I take your leave, but most fascinating conversation is the most fascinating people. Thank you all. Have a very good weekend. Moi gom paise Assomot eta lockdown akwa hobo. Please stay safe, stay in. Horer kotha shuni, sarkarer kotha shuni, policer kotha shuni. Let's all be safe. Thank you.